Cheers!
Hello, we are here. It is dripleting, you know, it's like, well, but we figured that we would, excuse me, we figured we'd go live. Britt was really wanting to say hello and everything. So we were thinking that we would go ahead and go live with a few interviews during this Delta deluge. That we got hit with. Now, we can't complain. We've had some really great weather over the last 3 weeks, and we've been live almost every day over that last 3 weeks. And the farmers do need rain, driplets too. So anyway, while we're waiting for the studio to get all set up, the Clay and Jake were out in the pits, and they were getting a few people, you know, just talking with people and what they thought of things. And so I have those interviews here, and I will be happy to show them to you. Okay, we are, yeah, there.
Clay Milligan here, Motor Mania TV, and we are with Mr. Billy Herman, Alliance RACEWEAR. So, Mr. Herman, you like how I call you Mr.?
That's perfect.
All right. So,
call me what you want. Just don't call me late for lunch.
So, Mr. Herman, you are a sponsor and have been involved with a lot of the Great American Bracket races. How did that happen? How did it come about, and how's it working out?
Well, it's working out great. I met Britt and Slate when they was doing the American Outlaw Live deal. And ever since there, we've had a partnership. We work well together, bounce ideas off each other. They're the great, awesome guys to work with.
So your company has got to be growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, there's a guy that races Top Fuel that started wearing your suit a couple years ago, and your product line just keeps growing and growing and growing. Is that something that you are intending on, like expanding the product line? You're obviously making the suits better and better and better. Kind of what's your thinking on growing the company and expanding these lines?
Well, I listen to a lot of racers on the different way to do different products to make them better. I mean, if it wasn't for the racers, you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know, and I thought, you know, getting you in the suit, since we're talking about Top Fuel, Clay's the one that's in my suit. And, I mean, I want it to get as big as, you know, big as possible, you know. I just want to be here for the racers.
Absolutely. So you kind of got a cool jacket right here, Great American Guaranteed Million. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who is your choice right now? We have not started the million, but who's your choice right now as the winner?
I'm going to have to go with Donnie Burleson.
You heard it right here. Mr. Billy Herman, Alliance RACEWEAR, Great American Guaranteed Million. All righty. So we're here. Beautiful display. The Women Rock. We're with Miss Luann. So tell us what you got going here. I see you at a lot of the races. Tell us what this whole program's about.
Well, our program is about helping women fight breast cancer, helping those detect breast cancer that can't afford a mammogram, and we found a great audience in the races. Started with NHRA, and then Britt let us start coming here. And the people that reach out to us for help, it's really amazing from all over the states that we've got a group of about 160 that we've been able to help in one way or another from the races.
That is so awesome that y'all do that, and you do such a great job. So how has the Great American Million been for you guys so far?
It's been good. We've had a good day. This is our first day to be here and be out, and we hope we get a few more days in before the rain comes from
Don't say that word.
I said get some more races in first.
There we go. There we go.
But no, really, it's all about getting out here and meeting people. We meet people who have lost someone to breast cancer that we're able to, you know, just give them a little uplifting moment, and it means a lot to me. This is God's work, it's just my hands.
Totally understand, and you do a great job, and of course you got Madison out there helping. Give us a little quick story on Madison.
Well, we met at Madison in Texas at the first race that we went to, and she just kind of came up and started talking to us, and it was an immediate friendship. And from there, we got her parachute with Women Rock on it, and it's just been, we're family now, and so everywhere they go, they think of us, and vice versa.
That's awesome. Folks, Women Rock right here at the Great American Bracket Race.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Guaranteed Million. I'm here with Holden, LARIS Motorsports Insurance, a valuable partner to me and my team, and a partner here at the Great American Guaranteed Million. Why in the world, top dragsters, super comp guys, why'd y'all get involved with Britt and GAYLON on this Guaranteed Million?
For the money.
I like that answer. I like that answer. So I was talking to Ross earlier, and I'm going to ask you the same question. If you make it to the split, are you going to go for it, or are you just going to kind of let Dad handle that part of it?
I might let him handle that part of it. Since he's sponsoring us, I think I'm going to let him handle that part.
So let's just say for fun, you leave here with $1 million. What are you going to go buy yourself for fun? Forget about, I'm going to put it in savings, this, that, and other. Okay, you're going to do some of that. But what would you go buy yourself just for fun because you just won $1 million?
Honestly, I've been thinking about going to Vegas. Haven't really thought about buying anything.
So go to Vegas and gamble a big chunk of money?
Not $1 million, but I was going to put most of it in an account and just blow a little bit.
Heck yeah. So what's your game of choice?
I like blackjack and roulette.
Wow, blackjack and roulette. So are you the guy that, you know, you've been on the roll and you got 17? Are you going to hit it?
Definitely.
Somehow I knew you was going to say that. Somehow I knew you was going to say that. So LARIS Motorsports Insurance is doing a lot here. Your name is all over this race. And again, you guys aren't necessarily big bracket racers, but what made, and don't you can say what you want. You can say what you want. The motorsports part of y'all's business is yours, and you run it. So what prompted you to want to get involved in this Great American Guaranteed Million?
I just saw so many racers kind of moving towards bracket racing, and the fact that you go to a race and win $1 million, you know, compared to going to some races and winning $5,000 or $2,000. I saw a lot of racers coming in this direction, so I said, shoot, let's give it a try. Let's go out there and race, and also go out there and set up a little booth and ensure some of these guys racing.
So there you have it. Holden LARIS, LARIS Motorsports Insurance. Every one of us have got race cars, trailers, equipment, and we don't think about how much money we got involved in it. If you were to lose it all, you need to have a policy with these guys because they are racers. They will take care of you. It's not nearly as expensive as you think to take care of all those toys. And these guys can take care of you right at the racetrack right now, get you a quote, get you covered. Think about the folks at LARIS Motorsports Insurance. All right, this is Scary. I'm here with a microphone. All right, you're here watching the LARIS big screen. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a great thing.
And I don't mean the screen. I mean, are you still in?
I'm still in.
So is this like an informative thing, or is it more just like cool to be able to stand here and watch?
Kind of both.
Kind of both.
Yep.
I tell you what, the quality of that thing's better than my TV at the house.
It's awesome.
So I've been asking a bunch of folks this. Aside from the race tonight, let's just talk about, wait on the burnouts. Talk about the million. You leave here with $1 million. What are you going to do with it?
Thank the Lord first and foremost.
Absolutely.
And then head to the million.
Head to the OG? Yep. All right, what are you going to buy yourself?
Maybe a stacker.
Oh, wow. I like that. That's the best answer so far. I like that. Man, go get them. So I'm just kind of gathering people as we go here, and we may have found somebody that might be out of place.
Yeah, I'm always out of place.
So here's the honest truth. Yeah, that's why I'm happy. So here's the honest truth. So I know this guy, and he used to go to all the races with me, and he started his own company, and he's now big time, but I can tell you why he's here. And it's not the $1 million at all. It's Troy's Snack Shack, right down there.
Exactly. Hey, I never miss a meal. I promise you. You don't build this thing for nothing. It takes a lot to maintain, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep this up.
Well, I see you still got your fire britches on, so.
I do.
So you're still hanging in there?
Yep. My son just won second round, and maybe I can follow it up.
Heck yeah. So how cool is the LARIS Motorsports Insurance big screen?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, we really appreciate him doing this. It kind of makes it a whole better experience. You don't have to sit in the motorhome to see what's going on.
It is just an awesome deal to have this up here. So have you been using this to just kind of have fun, or are you using it to inform yourself how the track's doing?
Oh, it certainly helps. Yeah, I mean, it's a way to watch it. You get to hear the announcer, and he gives you some information, and so yeah, it all helps.
So the main question I've been asking everybody: you leave here with $1 million, what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna quit. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I changed my mind. That is now the best answer we've got. Put it in the bank and call it good.
Call it a career, exactly. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
On top, you know.
So we're going to interrupt. We're going to interrupt a texting over here.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Man, we're just hanging out, checking out the big screen.
Yeah.
So how's the week been so far?
It's been good, man. I've struggled for a long time. Jake knows about it. I raced with him in South Carolina, and it's got to come together this week. Still in the 40K, and obviously in round 2 of this one. So hopefully the $1 million goes well.
You win that $1 million, what are you going to do with it?
A lot. I mean, I'll probably run around this place with my pants off, you know, because I'm so excited. But I can't even fathom that much money. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be crazy.
That's the reason I'm here. I'm not even racing, but I want to see somebody win this race and just see what the experience is.
Well, you know what? Spencer won 30K last week, so the top fuel drivers can bracket race now, so you probably should hop in something.
Yeah, but he's still young and, you know, and all that kind of thing. I hadn't let go of a button since he was born.
You'd probably be all right. Just roll 30 out, you'd be good.
Look at this crowd over here. It's a rowdy bunch. It is a rowdy bunch. So I'm just gonna come right over here and pile up in the middle of y'all. I see some yawning going on, some texting going on.
We're just trying to figure out, honey, Wayne, we're trying to learn some tricks here.
Are you passing any tricks along?
No, not at all. No drinks. I don't drink while I race. Anything, water, nothing.
Oh, now no water, no nothing?
No, nothing. Don't eat or drink.
I just had a Philly cheesesteak and a Pepsi.
I know you couldn't hear that. Oh, man. All right, so how you feeling this weekend?
So far, it's been pretty good. The last couple weeks have been terrible, but this week's turning into better than it has been, so I'm feeling pretty good.
So you ain't no stranger to going late, so if you make it late and deep, would you take a chance and not do any splitting?
No, I'm not that guy. I'll split.
I love the freaking big screen. Real quick. So let's say there is no split and you leave with $1 million. What are you gonna do with it?
Invest it so I can race all the time.
I love it. I love it. Go get after them, man. So without a doubt, I need a step ladder for this one right here. But David Bird Jones, man, you have a been there, done that kind of guy, but how you feeling about the guaranteed million?
Oh no, it's the coolest event. I've been looking forward to this for about 6 months, and it's the coolest event I've been to for sure. You got to drive your ass off. That's for sure. Some crazy packages, but some good giveaways though when you do lose.
Oh yeah, they got $80,000 worth of giveaways going. So, oh, I thought you said something. It was the speaker. I'm sorry. So they got $80,000 worth of giveaways, which is crazy. But man, every hitter in the world's here. Aside from yourself, who would you choose that you think? And again, remove yourself from it. Who's your bet besides yourself?
I've got we're on a little Calcutta deal, and I got Edmund Richardson on it.
Well, that ain't a bad one to have.
No, Edmund is the king. I mean, Scotty did win the deal, so I had to kind of take it at Richardson. But I'll ride with Edmund all day on this race.
I like that bet. So you've won a ton of stuff and you've done a ton of stuff, but if you left here with $1 million, what are you going to do?
Oh, there ain't no telling, but my mom would have it before I even got home. I can tell you that for sure. That's somebody I control my spending.
So, I mean, got to be one cool something you'd buy for yourself. What would that be?
Oh, Corvette Roadster would have been what I want. I'd sell the Firebird for that.
So I got to tell you, when I saw you, I was a little disappointed that the hair's gone.
Yeah, I just can't afford to have it. I ran over that with a creeper one time last year, and it was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And it's a lifestyle, and I just can't do the lifestyle, work on too much stuff on the ground, I guess. But it's a cool deal, the mullet, but I just can't keep it up. It's,
I understand.
Yeah.
David Bird Jones, always a superstar in my book. All right, right off the get-go, tell everybody your name.
Troy Williams Jr.
So some of y'all may or may not have heard of this name. This man, as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest of all time. You've been there, done that, won that, including the U.S. Nationals very recently. So if, and it won't be no surprise, if you make it to the split, will you split?
Oh, absolutely, man. I think with this kind of money on the line, it's just financially doesn't make any sense not to make some kind of deal. But I can definitely tell you, I've grown up around bracket racing. That's what I've always done, is big money bracket racing. And it's our goal to never get less than half the advertised purse. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disappointed people when I tell them just start that top number at 500 when you're figuring it out.
So if you left here with 500 grand, what are you going to do?
Go to Disney World. Hey, man, it's only 45 minutes from the house,
That's kind of why I really started laughing. It's not like you hadn't been there before. So with the 500 grand, if you were, and I know you buy lots of race car parts and you keep your car in top notch, but if you were going to buy something for fun for yourself, what would it be out of that 500 grand?
Wow. Well, probably a jet ski or a jet boat. I've always had, jet skis growing up and stuff, and I'm kind of getting in the mood to get back going to the beach a lot.
So these questions are obviously super random because my brain kind of works that way. Where do you get the most pressure from when it starts getting late in them rounds? And let's say from the split forward, where's the pressure come from? Is it other people or is it just yourself?
No, it's definitely pressure I put on myself. I mean, I feel like, just like you said, I've been very successful in my career, luckily, and there's a lot of sponsors. FTI, McLeod, list goes on, BP, Mickey Thompson, that put a lot of trust in me, Steve Smith, that, they expect me to do good, but more than anything, I expect that out of myself. If I'm not a value to those companies and I'm not out here, doing the best I can, performing well, it lets me down as well as them. So it's definitely internal for me. It's most of the time, I can't say it will be the case with this race, but most of the time when the win light comes on, I'm more relieved than jumping up and down, Whenever the win light lights, it's like, oh. And then later you get happy about it. But I think here it'll probably be an instant deal, I might just nose it in the wall and do a burnout to the tires pop like NASCAR.
So last question. If by some stretch of the imagination, and it is not hard to really believe, you and your brother run in the final, and how unprofessional my phone started. I'm going to do that over. So if by some stretch of the imagination, and it's not hard to believe, you and your brother were to run in the final, would you run it, or would y'all just pull up there and get out and hug or high five, or what would happen there?
No, we are absolutely going to run it. The last $1 million race that he won here, he's won 2, obviously. And the second one, he beat me at 4 cars in a ridiculous race. I was like 002, take 7, and he was like 5 total. So yeah, we're going to run it, and I'm going to whoop him all up down the racetrack, hopefully.
Folks, this is one right here that I will not be surprised that you don't see late in the rounds. One of the baddest dudes to ever let go of a button. Y'all stay tuned. All right, we're hanging out over here with the Lupe Tortilla team, the Holt family. I am used to seeing this bunch at the NHRA races, but here y'all are at the Guaranteed Million, and I'm looking at you, but I'm gonna start with ladies first. What in the world are y'all doing?
Well, you know, every girl needs $1 million, so we coming here to rack up this $1 million to bring it back to Texas.
What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I love it all, man. It's just a great feeling to be here with family and friends, racing for $1 million. You can't beat it.
So I asked to see the boss, and I'm looking at you, but I was pointed back. So, Mr. Stan, y'all have awesome restaurants, awesome food, and y'all got beautiful race cars. If y'all were to get down to the split at the $1 million, I just want to know, you gonna go for it, or you gonna play along with the split?
Oh, I'm gonna split.
Not me, I'm going for it. You know why? Because I'm gonna give it all away anyway.
She and I had each other in the final. Then I'll split.
There you go. There you go. That'll work. What about you? You make it down to the split, you gonna let her rip, or just gonna let it ride?
I don't know, man. I think I'm going to try to cut a little piece of the pie out and take some home, you know.
So let's just say, for fun, y'all were to leave here with the $1 million. I already know. You just said you just going.
I'd give it all away.
Yep, he would.
So I know you got some cool toys at the house.
Yeah, I do. Gotta have.
But if you left here with Britt's $1 million guarantee, what are you going to do with that $1 million? What kind of toys are you going to add to the collection?
I'm just gonna put it with the other millions. Company.
There you go. There you go. All right, what kind of toys you going to add to the collection you left here with $1 million?
Oh, man, definitely a few more dragsters, maybe a Top Fuel dragster. I'm sure you could help me out with that.
I could be a good teacher, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. That, some pro mods, you know, all the fast stuff.
Well, I'm going to ask you, if he came over to the old Parts Plus car with a fire suit on, would that be all right?
Absolutely.
You just got a green light. Let's see, stand up straight. Yeah, we might have to do some pedal adjustment.
Yeah, some minor pedal adjustments. It'll be good. It'll be all good.
Just want to thank y'all for being a part of the Guaranteed Million.
We appreciate you coming to see us.
You folks are awesome. I love seeing you at the races, and I really love seeing you right here at my home track. It didn't take long. Britt knew I was here, and he's like, you all dressed up, looking pretty. Hand me a microphone and a camera, and y'all know that's dangerous.
That's good. Thank you for coming by.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Team Lupe Tortilla.
Rolling them gears.
All right, I'm here with one of the largest supporters of sportsman drag racing in the business period, Mr. Rob Moser. Rob, you're out here. You got your driving britches on. You're out here battling with these big dogs this weekend.
Well, there's no doubt, definitely big dogs, and we're just kind of coming here and hoping to have a good showing, but at the end of the day, we're here to support Britt and GAYLON and this great race they put on.
So I just kind of mentioned that y'all are very involved, not only in sportsman racing, but especially sportsman racing. Can you kind of tell us just a few of the things you guys do with the sportsman crowd? Being the old Top Fuel guy, but a sportsman racer at heart, I love that y'all are so involved with that, but tell us a little bit of some of the things you guys do.
Well, for years and years, we were involved with IHRA back in the day, doing some special shootouts and things like that for people that used our products. For the last 7 or 8 years, we've run some shootouts in divisions 2, 3, and 4 in NHRA. Kind of let the guys, let them have a little something extra to run for rather than just the regular purse. And then obviously, along with this race, we're involved with a lot of the big money bracket races throughout the country.
So you've been involved with the old Cummins boys for a long time. I mean, first class, beautiful cars and all that. But I gotta know, and this is just a question, Who's a bigger pain in the butt, Britt or Slate?
There's no doubt it's Slate. No doubt, it's not even close.
And I'm saying that while we're on camera because Slate's not here, and but I agree with you 100%. But the cars are always beautiful. Are you involved with any of the design on the stuff? I mean, your dragster right here is absolutely beautiful. The colors and the things you guys do. How involved are you in all that?
Well, believe it or not, I mean, we're involved with approval on everything, but believe it or not, this was kind of Slate's thing a number of years ago. We kind of let him go. He and Jerron Settles at Imagine That Customs, and we kind of let them have free reign. They came up with a few different ideas, and these are the cars they came up with, and they're beautiful. There's no doubt.
So with this crazy year, you know, with the pandemic, all the things going on, obviously you and I have been around each other, so we're not social distancing at the moment. There's no PRI, no SEMA. Kind of what are you guys doing to get your new products out there?
We've done a lot of extra online stuff. There's no doubt about that. A bunch of email blasts and things like that. But I mean, really, a lot of what we've done is going out, finding where the racers are going to be and where the cars are going to be, and we're going there. We were in Bristol last weekend. We're obviously here this week. We'll be involved with any other races we can get involved with, and getting our name out and get the products out to the people and where they are. So we just got to find them right now.
And there is plenty of racers here this weekend. The Great American Guaranteed Million is huge. So if you make it to the split, what's your thoughts?
I don't even know if I have those kind of thoughts, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'll just kind of play it by ear. When we get there, I'll probably be relying on guys that make it deeper into these bracket races. I've done pretty good at the NHRA stuff throughout the years, but at these bracket races, 4 and 5 rounds after that, I don't know that I've ever been farther than that in one of these big ones. But if I make it to the split, I'll just be happy to be there, and we'll let the guys that are used to doing this figure out the money.
So let's say you won this thing, and let's just say there is no split, and you left here with $1 million. What fun thing would you do with an extra $1 million?
With an extra $1 million, ooh, that's hard to even think about. Boy, I don't know. I would guess the bulk of it we'd put back in the race cars and into the company more than anything else. But I'm sure we'd figure out a way to take a vacation somewhere with the whole team.
Where would that vacation be?
I don't know. Somewhere sunny and warm, where you don't have to social distance and wear a mask.
So, Mr. Rob Moser, and I'm going to close this out with, I am absolutely heartbroken. There is no PRI show because you folks don't know this, but I go a day early every year to the PRI show just to go with the Moser group to Buca di Beppo. It is one of the wildest dinners you will have ever went to. So we got to figure out something to do this winter.
Oh, I'm all about that. I mean, if you want to come to Indy or we'll come to you, either way, we'll find a way to get to dinner.
And it might be at Troy's Snack Shack later tonight. All right, I'm here with Jody from Renegade Race Fuel, longtime sponsor of the Great American Series. But we're here at the Great American Guaranteed Million.
1 million. 1 million.
1 million. Tell me, and I know you're not racing in this deal, but just tell me, what would you do if you were to win $1 million?
Well, you know, if I was one of these guys here, I'd buy a better car, right? You know, and I'd buy all the Renegade Race Fuel to run it on. That's what you need to do. You need to invest that $1 million in a year lifetime supply of race fuel. That's what I want them to do with it.
All right. What would you do with it, though?
What I'd do, I'd probably buy a new house, you know. And then I'd find a woman to give half of it to later on.
So you've been involved with GAYLON and Britt on these races for a long time. Tell us about that arrangement. Not about the arrangement. That sounds wrong. That sounds way wrong. Cut that out. Just tell us about how it's been working with those guys over the years.
The Cummings boys are great. You know, we deal with Slate, Britt, Cole. We deal with their dad, Larry. Matter of fact, he was running around here just a second ago. We have a great partnership with them. We have a long-standing relationship with them, and we're thrilled to be here. We appreciate Brett giving us the opportunity to participate in the race and to be on site with our fuel and to help his people out and help everybody out here.
And I tell you what, it is amazing. There are race cars everywhere. The place is packed, and you got
50 of them.
You got to be busy. It's got to be fuel going everywhere.
Well, we had a little trouble getting here. I don't know if you know that or not. The government stopped us on the way down, had a conversation. So, yeah, as soon as we got here, man, everybody was following us in. I had to bring the cars in. I remember I drug them in like that in the truck. I told them I felt like Smokey bringing the snowman in at the end of the day with everybody coming in behind me on the race there. So
is it fuel or Coors in the truck?
Well, it's going with fuel, you know.
Everybody, Renegade Race Fuels, Great American Guaranteed Million.
So we are here in the tower as we finally cracked the PA on for the first time today at the Great American Guaranteed Million here at Memphis International Raceway. And we've got GAYLON up here, half of the Great American promoting team. As you and Britt, are you a team or are you brothers? I mean, it's pretty tight up here, right?
Duo.
Duo, dynamic duo. You guys have been doing this for, give or take, going on 12 years. This is something that you have done before. You've had wrenches thrown in the plans, but everybody's been asking all weekend long, even asking me. I'm the announcer. Like I have nothing to do with any of the decision making. What are they going to do? Well, everything they can for as long as they can, while they can. But I know you and Britt are working on a schedule. But we had a good time last night. You know, you were spectating the Great American Alliance RACEWEAR golf cart race right here in a foot race, some arm wrestling matches. We do not stream on MotorManiaTV.com for that reason. We didn't do anything illegal. The $5,001 Alliance RACEWEAR golf cart race and set of Weld Racing front wheels. Alan Wickel and Tracy Guffey on the same golf cart made it to the final round.
I told Britt we needed to probably take a look at that golf cart.
Well, you see that they were fanning it. They said they had a heads-up stock eliminator round coming up, so they're fanning the seat, pushing it up to the starting line. And whenever it came down to 4 cars, we made a rule, but whenever we sat down and talked about this, that there had to be a majority split, right? Yeah. There was $5,001, and the biggest argument was over who got the $1, right? Well, Tracy rolls up first entry. He's 008 and like one above on a golf cart to 330 feet. We're like, well, that's a pretty good lap. So they've got half of that golf cart in the final round already. They get back around, and they're pushing Alan Wickel forward, and they're like, all right, Alan, if you win this, it's over. They already talked split. They got the money all worked out, and he said, I want the $1. So he knows Tracy's 008. He said, I'm going to get that $1. Alan Wickel's 003 on the golf cart, and his guy turns it red. So, I mean, on a golf cart, 3 and 8, the same golf cart, 2 different drivers. Where's Cody Harger?
I don't know where Cody's at, but you're talking about that. I was at the Giddy Piggy this morning and get me one of those sandwiches, and Alan pulled up. And he told me that he'd won, and he said that him and Tracy, the most important money of that whole race was that $1, so they cut it in half.
They did cut it in half. I knew it. Like, I handed it out because you were stepping back and enjoying a nice little break. You said, here, take care of this. So I'm counting the money out, and I'm like, yeah, I need the hundreds. I'll put that up. I'm like, the $1. I pulled it back out of my pocket. I say, yeah, here it is. So They made sure they did that, and I think Tracy got the gift certificate for the wheels because they both have immaculate race cars. But I mean, Tracy's car is one of the nicest Camaros you'll ever see.
Absolutely.
And my dad, Alan Wickel's dragsters are really nice.
Yep, absolutely.
He did that at the Dream Team race. He showed me who the dad was, okay? But I know you kind of want to talk to the racers a little bit here that are sticking us out this weekend and kind of what the schedule is. Yesterday, you made sure I announced that we will finish a $1 million race before we leave Memphis this weekend or this week or whenever we have to finish it. Even if it's rains till Christmas, we're going to be here paying $1 million.
We're not leaving Middleton, Tennessee until we crown a $1 million winner.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. I mean, tomorrow the weather looks really good tomorrow. I think the weather's supposed to clear up for around 6 a.m. So we're hoping we should be able to get to the track probably between the 10 and 12 o'clock mark, and we'll go straight. Well, we'll pick up to where we left off, and we'll race to a decent hour and try to finish it up tomorrow if we have to.
Yeah, we're racing for $1 million guaranteed, and it's kind of one of those things that we started the program. A few racers earned a win light. We can't really take that away, and that's the understanding call, because I know a couple of guys that were in the first few pair that did not win, and they said, really it sucks, but it is what it is. We could have won just like the guy in the other lane. So as far as everybody here today. I know you have some stuff that we want to do if it clears up a little bit, so I'll let you allude to that. And I don't know if Clay's got something to say to you, but I want to hang out here, and we got some people lining up in here for a nice little interview day.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody that's still here. I mean, nobody's left, so I mean that's always good, you know.
Jared Pennington.
Oh, yeah, we're not gonna call Jared out.
I will. Come on, Jed.
But we thank all the racers for staying here and believing in us, that know that we're going to get this race in, and we have full expectations to have this race done and take a big winner circle picture for the $1 million winner, and we're really excited about it. We've got a great staff here. We feel like we got the best staff, and we're ready to do it, man. I mean, we're ready to get this deal on the road. We've worked on it for so long. We've worked so hard on this to get this race, and it's been 2 years that we've worked on this, and we've come too far, and we're finishing it.
Well, as we talked to Rob Moser and I forget it. We talked to so many people yesterday. The guy from Weld, the Weld interview. Ace from Weld. If I somehow, you know, somebody cuts somebody else's tire in the other lane or something, I get the $1 million trophy, I'll probably leave my car here and just take the trophy home, because I can sell it and build a whole new car.
And that trophy is just unbelievable. You know, I would like to take some of that credit, but Britt and Jerron and Wizard Race Cars kind of did that deal. And when Britt sent me that picture of that trophy, he called me on my phone and said, "Hey, you sitting down?" Actually, no, I was sitting on the front porch with my wife. We were sitting on the porch after work, and Britt called me on FaceTime. He said, "You sitting down?" I said, "Actually, I'm on my swing." And he turned his phone, he called me on FaceTime. I said, "What is that?" I said, "That's our trophy." I'm like, holy smokes, man, that thing's beautiful. And it wasn't even painted yet. So that trophy is amazing. Of course, my opinion is biased, but I think that's the best trophy in bracket racing, period.
You got to build onto your house if you win the $1 million race just to put the trophy in there. They sent me and Cole to unload it yesterday. It's like, we're going to move this around on the golf cart. We're over there like, I got a hernia today. I mean, we're struggling, but I know that we're all excited to get this thing kicked off and underway, and we can't do anything but hang out here in the tower. And I know we might have maybe a golf cart race tonight if it clears up, maybe, possibly. Pretty good chance. Yeah. We are still planning on doing the FTI Racer Appreciation Party this evening. We still have a lot of stuff on tap, even though it's, you know, we might just all take showers at the same time.
Yeah, we got that. We talked about doing a cornhole tournament maybe, and we just want everybody to have a good experience. The golf cart race was a ton of fun last night. It looks like everybody had a good time. Me and Britt went to the top of the tower. We did our New Orleans Mardi Gras throws, and everybody was really jacked up about that. Throwing away T-shirts and hand sanitizer and credit card holders and everything like that. So everybody loves that. You know, when we want the racers to, you know, remember that experience. You know, not just the racing experience, but the experience as a whole, because it's important. You know, we want racers to come here and have a good time.
Well, I mean, I always do my dangest to come out here for these things, and you guys put me right to work this weekend, which I'm good with. I'm having fun. Me and Jake, we may have stories that we can't tell on camera already. You know, we did go hang out over at David Bird Jones's place for a little while, and that was hysterical. But you know what? I think a lot of the racers probably have no idea of what all it takes to do something like this, let alone a $1 million guarantee race. Can you give us just some of the thought process, some of the things that you and Britt have done to get this all put together?
Well, I mean, like I said, it started 2 years ago, and Britt had brought it up long before that. He said, "We need to do a race." I'm saying, "Well, we already do a race." He said, "No, we need to do the race." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "$1 million race." I'm like, "All right, guaranteed." I said, "What?" "Yeah, guaranteed." So he worked on me a little bit, but you know, I bought into it. You know, and it was a lot of work. You know, when he started first working on it, you know, he had to get a lot of disclosures from the people that, you know, he leaned on to get good information. And we worked on it ever since, you know, try to, you know, get sponsors involved, from getting the flyer made, coordinating the date. And it is a ton of work, you know. I do a lot of other races, but, you know, this $1 million is really, it's a lot of work. But what it brings after you're done with it, you know, the sense of accomplishment is more than anything, you know, that you're able to pull that off, to pay a racer a guaranteed $1 million race. It's definitely a feather in my cap, because I never thought that I would ever be involved in a race like this. And I thank Britt for everything that he's done, because, you know, he's definitely definitely the man out front. You know, I'm more of the behind the scenes type of guy to getting all the stuff done. But so we work well together. We don't always agree, but we always come to a solid decision. We roll with it, and I'm grateful I'm grateful that I'm on his team.
You know, Britt told me, he said he was the gambler and you're the one that wants to see how it's going to work. And I mean, I think it has worked. I mean, granted, yes, we're sitting here dealing with rain right now, but and you got cars parked everywhere. I have been to a lot of races here, and there are cars parked in places that I've never seen before, including basically in the maintenance area back here behind the track. And and I don't see these racers leaving because it is $1 million guarantee. But and some of the things that I think that, you know, people don't really understand. I mean, you're Gulfport area guy, Britt's Louisiana guy. Y'all made multiple trips up here. I came to a couple of them just because I wanted to come see you guys, but I don't think people really realize, again, the amount of work that it took to make this happen.
Well, you got to prepare. You know, if you don't prepare, you're going to fail. You know, so me and Britt made the point to come up here on numerous times, you know, and get a layout. You know, we brought Zach from Fine Line Signs and Graphics to come lay out all our stuff, you know, and we just don't want to, we didn't want to be the guys that show up race week and try to get everything ready. We wanted to, you know, be prepared, and when you're prepared, you're more likely to be successful, and that's how we've always approached that. You know, Britt's the gambler. I'm the guy that writes all the numbers down, is more, and I think Jake said methodical about it. You know, but we work well together. You know, he takes me out of my comfort zone, but you know what? I've learned from him that, you know, get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, and I have, and it's very cool to have this racetrack here packed with race cars racing for $1 million, and the fact that I'm part of it is it's pretty special for me and my entire family, that that I'm part of a race that's going to pay $1 million. I still can't. Yeah. It really hasn't even sunk in yet, you know, because I feel like we're here just doing another race, and then I sit back and think about it. I'm like, we're racing for $1 million. You know, it's crazy, man.
It'll sink in when you call your tax lady.
Oh, yeah, I already did, you know. She said, what? So yeah.
I bet Britt hadn't.
No comment.
Britt's still drawing unemployment, okay? Business owner.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, we're just really grateful for the staff that we have, because we always felt to be successful. I've always felt to be successful in anything in life, you have to be able to trust the people that are around you. And we have that, man. I feel like we have the best. You know, with you and Jake and everybody at Memphis, you know, we got a solid team, and it's a pleasure to work with them and see this race unfold. You know, it's unfortunate that, you know, we have the weather we have. I mean, Monday it was beautiful, and you know, the hurricane season. You know, we're in the Greek alphabet now. I'm not sure how that works out, but just to be up here is it's really special. It hasn't really hit me yet that this is the guaranteed million. You know, it's surreal. It really is.
The real Hurricane Delta has a Moser Engineering rear end stacked on top of it. Okay.
Yeah.
You find out what a hurricane looks like. Somebody wins that thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know, we're committed to getting this race in. Tomorrow looks really good. We fully anticipate to be on the track between as early as 10, no later than noon, and we'll race. And we're not going to race till the 3 o'clock morning. We're racing for too much money for that to happen. And we'll end up probably finishing on Monday. And me and Britt said we're not leaving Millington until we give somebody $1 million check, and we stand by that.
That's pretty awesome. One half of the dynamic duo, GAYLON and Britt, have got it all going on, and it is going to pay a guaranteed $1 million right here, Memphis International Raceway, and we thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we're back here, the Pro 1 pit report here in the tower with a competitor, Shannon Walker. Man, you're out here doing it. You went really, really deep in the $80,000 Thursday, Sunday. How long ago was that? I don't know when that it was, but you were driving really well the other night, and I got to think it's probably because you got some of my parts on your race car, okay? We learned how to wire up a 4-pole House of Pain power kill switch. And like, no, we need one for a dragster. It'll work. But no, it's definitely Greek if you haven't ever looked at it. It's a different language. But how's your week been going other than that? You know, I know it's you're very opinionated and, you know, you're very well spoken. How is your Great American Bracket Race experience as of Saturday at whatever time it is?
It's been going well, actually. Started racing last weekend to get ready for this race in Oklahoma. Went to Ardmore, had an awesome weekend. Made it down to 4 cars on Sunday. Felt like I had the perfect car coming into this race. Get here Tuesday, unload the car, made a lap, all is well. Changed the oil, find metal in the oil. Had no idea what was going on. I wanted to cry. Called SPE, talked to Joe Jolly, said all is well, give it a go, send it. So we sent it, and she didn't go. She killed. Fought the electrical issues all day Wednesday. Thanks to you, I did do the 4-pole kill switch. Still didn't fix the starter deal. I had to make a pass with the starter engaged, actually engaged because the solenoid went out. So at that point, I just wanted to pack it up and head back to Dallas. I was like, I'm done, over it. And on Tuesday, everything just came together. You know, Leela helped me. My buddy out of Colorado, Steve Hayes, helped me. We dialed the car in 4th round. I mean, I think every round I was dead 0 or dead 1.
Like 491, like every time down the racetrack.
I mean, driving the wheels off of it. In the 4th round, I made a lap that I thought I had to be very competitive against a fellow Texan. Those Penitents, they have the best of everything. So I felt like I had to really be tight on the tree and really run that number. And to be the one total, I was ecstatic down there watching it in the trailer. So to get back and earn the buy, that was awesome. So I'm looking forward to winning $1 million, but let's do it.
All that work went into your $80,000 race where you were down 5th or 6th round, and the round money was actually doubled. So I mean, that's got to feel pretty good to not have to go through 2 races to get that much round money. That was, you know, stacked on top of each other and a nice little bonus, of course. But there's been a few 1 total runs this weekend, and you were one of them. The Penningtons do have a lot of nice equipment, and they've got a lot of really good race car drivers, male, female, it doesn't matter. They roll out of the Pennington race car stable. It's tough. And, you know, definitely that's a part of the mental game that takes place right here. You know, it's half of it's won back here, right? You can look at somebody, and I know Peeps sees it all the time, and somebody's like, oh, God, I got Peeps again, because that's what I do, you know. and Peeps is like, well, I can probably be 10, right? And that's not knocking any competitor, but that is part of what it is. You know, it's like Clay. Clay is a small top field team. They roll up against one of the mega teams. They got to bring it, and it's a psychological game. Mm-hmm. What do you do to kind of just bring yourself back down to earth? Because you knew you had a Pennington, mm-hmm. right? At what point after the burnout do you kind of just bring it all down and just engage that kill mode?
Routine. Everything is routine. Really, I look at who I'm racing, but I just want to know what color the front of the car is. But as far as routine, if you notice, I go through the water, I come back, and I'm really aggressive. I clear it out, I burn out, come back, clear it out. That avoids me from thinking about anything else. So if I do that every single time, this is what I'm focusing on, doing this the correct way, making my tires hot the correct way. And at that point, I no longer care who's in the other lane. You know, I want to flicker my light, set my tree, and let's go.
So before I turn this over to Clay, I know you've got just a little bit of surprise for your buddy Bart Nelson back home. As anybody that follows you on Facebook knows, that you are opinionated and well-spoken, and you are not afraid. So we're going to make Bo Butner happy and Bart Nelson mad in the same second. So go ahead and let's just spin that around. There we go.
I did not buy this hat.
I did not buy this hat. Well, I know Clay's got some stuff to talk to you about, but thank you for being a part of the guaranteed $1 million race right here at Memphis International Raceway, and not a bad shoe to pick.
Not a bad shoe. Let's go.
I've got a Calcutta going on that somebody could still pick you in. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So I'm like completely swapping pages. So last night I'm sitting on the wall down here watching the golf cart race, and you come over and you've got a young lady with you, and you point at me and you said, this guy right here goes really fast. Mm-hmm. And you tell me she ain't never been to a race before.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
So how'd that come about, and how do you bring a lady that has never been to a race before and you bring her to a marathon, a race with this many racers? I guess I'm kind of getting in your personal business. We're just going to turn this into TMZ right here.
Oh my God. I have family watching this now. Seriously. Actually, most of you know, maybe a few weeks ago, I put my race car for sale. I was at a point where I'm not traveling for work. Funds just really low. And I'm very passionate about racing. I love it, but it was just coming to a point where I either had to spend more money or just get out of it. And I had a dear friend step up and say, hey, I've been knowing you for 15 years. You enjoy this sport. You enjoy racing. And if you want to go, let's go. We're going to make it happen. And so that's the young lady you met. She made this happen. I'm here because of her. She gets 75.
Hold on a minute. So you had never seen Top Fuel cars?
Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I got here. So she got here because she got me here, right? And I'm telling her, she heard a supercharged car in Oklahoma. She's like, oh, supercharged. I say, well, this guy drives a real supercharged car. He goes real fast. So I say, hey, they'll be in Dallas next weekend. You want to see a guy go 330 miles an hour? Here's that guy. So that was it.
And I told you last night, be sure and come by the pit area and check it out. But that's awesome. I appreciate you even more that you got this guy here and he's going rounds and gave you that shot.
Yeah.
Guaranteed million.
Guaranteed million. Let's do it.
So I'm just going to ask you. I done ask everybody this. You win that money, whatever it ends up being, it's going to be a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with it?
That lady not invest that money. That money will be $10 million in 5 years. I promise you. But seriously, I just debt free, things like that. Enjoy life. Do a little more racing. That's about it.
I love it. Man, we appreciate you coming out. I'm going to hand it back over to Jake because he's the pro with this. I just wanted to hop into that TMZ mode right quick.
Okay. As long as you don't break out World Star, we'll be all right. But anyway, so you get to that final round, and we've been here a long time. And you've went to the Cow Pasture Nationals last weekend at Ardmore, which is probably the most historic race in your part of the country.
Yep.
And a foot brake guy won. Like, I mean, well, why are we letting that happen, man?
Bad, no. He's a bad man. Jeez. As far as me at the Cow Pasture Nationals, I set up to be 000 rated because I wanted to come here aggressive. I tend to find myself getting a tight competition, $1 for 10. I said, no, I'm going to the million to win the million. I want to be aggressive. So at the last 4 car semifinals, I set up to be that way, and I ended up 1,000 red, dead on dial. So it's okay.
If I set up 000, I'd probably end up being 20 finally. So, Shannon, it's awesome to have you here. Thank you for, obviously, for you being here. And man, it'd be cool to do this again tomorrow night or the next night or whenever we get around to doing this, because right down there's a big banner about 10 times the size of this one that says Champions Lane, and it'd be pretty cool to see you there.
I'll be there, and I'll give you double for your parts. How about that?
Yeah. Shannon Walker, thank you, man. Have a good luck the rest of the weekend and week and however long we're here, Clay. I don't know.
Thank you, Clay.
Thank you.
So right back here, the Pro 1 Pit Report, Andre Nunez. I get a lot of flack for calling you the freaking Rican over the live stream because everybody's like, oh, no, you can't say that about him. You're from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Yeah. You go by the freaking Rican. You came over here with that name, right? And you're from an area that has a drag strip that goes along a beach.
Yeah.
As we're sitting in the rain here in Memphis, I mean, come on.
Yeah, we used to have one like that. Unfortunately, it's no longer with us. It was closed down. But yeah, in Ponce, Puerto Rico, we had what? That's the way you say it, man.
See.
Yeah. Well, like the other night, like they actually sent me a video when you were having a little issues pronouncing Puerto Rico. But it's okay, bud. Like it happens. But yeah, all the way from Puerto Rico, they send me messages like, "Hey, what's wrong with this guy? Doesn't he know how to say it?" And I'm, yeah, he said it before, but you know, as far as the freaking Rican thing, that's all you, bud. Like that's all you. Like they might have called me Rican around here or there, but yeah, you just took it and ran with it. But it's okay. Like it gives me a nickname on tour, so I'll go ahead and take it.
Yeah, you've been on tour pretty heavily, especially since you began your partnership with Fuel Tech. I know Lewis and the guys at the shop are really heavily involved and ready to invest in the whole bracket racing side of things as they've rolled out the FT 600, right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, so we had when I started with the company, we had just rolled out the FT 450 and the FT 550, which complemented the 600, which we already had. And Fuel Tech was very well established within the heads-up community. And when I started with them, I kind of pointed out the fact that I thought that this side of the world, the sportsman racing, would be a great alternative, a great place for us to expand our product and offer something different to the community. And at first it was a struggle with them because they were like, well, nobody uses fuel injection. And I was like, true. And it probably is an uphill battle to try to convince everyone here to go EFI, but at the same time, Fuel Tech offers so much more that controlling the fuel part is just a tiny sliver of everything we can do for a race car.
Yeah, your display dash is, you just hit an arrow and your delay box is right there. I mean, and you've got a practice tree built into all that, and that's something that came from the racer aspect of things, not just the business owner or the R&D part of it. As a racer, that's something that it's pretty handy. Like that's one less part to fail, right?
Yeah, like the concept that drives Fuel Tech in general is the all-in-one aspect of it, right? So you literally have everything from your gauges, your dash. You can shift the car through there. Even before we did any of this, it was still a data logger, but now we have a specific sportsman packages, right? So for softwares that you can download straight to the computer, you don't have to pay for it. It's already available, and they're designed to make sure that none of the features that our full version allows you to have that are illegal in bracket racing are available, right? So by having the sportsman firmware, we have a box and a no box version for all the guys that do either or, and it helps also with the teching part of it, right? To where some people feel that technology is the enemy of being able to see what the car is doing and teching it. I kind of see it the other way around. Like by having everything integrated, including the data logger, you can literally just open up a data log and see exactly what that car did. There's no hiding it. It's out there in the open. So where other cars with analog ignition systems or no data logging, it's a lot harder to really get in there and find out if there is something that isn't supposed to be going on. Fuel Tech helps tremendously with that.
Absolutely, and you guys offer like trackside support as well, just like we've talked to Troy Williams and FTI about. You're here with the Fuel Tech trailer everywhere you go, and if a customer has an issue, you're right here to just jump on it and help. And if you're not here, you're a phone call away. Just, I don't remember his name. What's his name from Bradenton? The Mr. Heads Up guy that went to the.
Oh, well, I have a couple of the buddies. Yeah, like I'm the only bracket racer there, so Mr. Heads Up guy kind of.
We talked to him. We talked to him about this bracket racing thing. He's like, "Well, it's just stupid." As his Heads Up price paid 10 grand, we're here paying $1 million. You know.
Yeah. Like it's funny. I hear that a lot from the Heads Up side of the world. Which I mean, don't get me wrong. Like getting those cars to go down the track with the amount of power that they make is pretty impressive. But at the end of the day, hands down, as proven by this weekend, let's say it back here somewhere, yeah, $1 million guaranteed. I mean, it's hard to argue that this is the highest paying side of motorsports, period.
Absolutely. So anybody on the fence trying to switch, not just from carburetor to EFI, just from your data logger system, what's a couple advantages other than what you just talked about that the installation's pretty simple, right? I mean, the whole thing is all spelled out. You get a schematic and everything to go with it.
Yeah,
Even I think even I could put it in.
Well, I don't know about all that, but yes, even you could get it in. It's yes, we have very extensive manuals and support and tech diagrams and everything to help out. But also we have a very, very, very dedicated and good, dare I say, excellent tech support team, right? So anybody that has had the pleasure to give Fuel Tech a call and experience that for themselves understands what I'm getting at. Like, we genuinely have a group of people that, you know, if it takes 2 minutes to help you or 2 hours, we will do it, right? So that, and the fact that I really try to be at as many of these big buck races as possible, and also spreading around on some of the smaller events, just to give people the comfort that, you know, they're not alone with it. Because until it does completely catch to where, you know, people feel more comfortable seeing more of it, then, you know, I understand people's apprehension to new technology, right? But in the end, it really is way simpler than people think, and it's actually when you see it in person, which I invite everyone on the property to come by, check out my car at any point, and I'll show you what I mean. But everything's at your fingertips, right? So you can make all the changes right on your dash. Like, you don't have to pull your laptop other than for downloading the data log. Other than that, everything is just right in front of you in one unit. No more having to reach for chips or like having to go, you know, find hard parts to do any changes. It's all right there.
Clay, you know anything about data logging and anything like that? Because I sure don't.
I probably know more about it than I really care to admit, but I am fascinated by the fuel tech stuff. But what I'm more fascinated with you, Andre, we've known each other for a pretty good long time. You literally have worked your tail off, and I've admired you and literally had asked you about, do you want to work on a top fuel car at one point? You know, you want to be out here racing. And you said the top fuel car interested you a lot, but you were more interested in my job. And I was like, go away, Andre. You know, I was like, no, that's not happening. But kind of tell everybody, without making it super long, because I know you've got a hot date waiting on you or something going on. But, you know, you're a guy that come from another country and got here, and you're out here doing it.
Yeah. It's man, it's a combination of hard work, but also luck has played into it, right? Like meeting the right people along the way that have allowed me the opportunity to come out here and participate, especially the Williams brothers, you know. Man, nowadays, you know, I get offered race cars and, you know, opportunities come my way easier. But at first, when nobody knew me, when nobody was who's this guy that, you know, just rolled up here, and they genuinely took me under their wing and gave me the opportunities that have now allowed me to be here today, you know. So yes, I am a bracket racer, competitive, you know, through and through, and there's nothing I'd rather be doing than being here competing with the best in the world at what we do, right? Because make no mistake about it, this here is hardcore, as hard as it gets to have success in, right? So yeah, from 100 by 35 island to now here with you guys, and even meeting people like you know, like people that are so well established in the industry. I feel very, very thankful and grateful to have this opportunity even, you know.
And I would say you are very lucky. The other night I'm hanging out in the staging lanes with you, and Troy Williams pulls out a stack of time slips and was giving you what I felt like, man, that's some information that he probably should keep to himself. I mean, he didn't hide it from me because he knows I'm not here competing. But you and him were diagnosing kind of some what's going on lane to lane and this, that, and other. And I'm like, wow, you know, Troy's sitting there kind of giving out some valuable stuff.
Yeah, no, they're my boys. Like, actually, Troy was the first one to invite me out here and give me a ride in the old FTI car, like talking back like 2012. But actually, my first race, like on tour, if you will, with traveling or whatnot, was at this racetrack, 2013 with Gary. So Troy opened the door, but Gary just like held it open and just drugged me through it. You know, he was the reason I worked for Overkill and raced with them for a while. Then I went with FTI and now this Fuel Tech gig. But again, like, yeah, they're my mentors. They've taught me so much. Like when I came from Puerto Rico out here, I was very successful in Puerto Rico. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna show these American guys what's up, right? And unfortunately, the first race I was in, I runnered up, so it just confirmed it, right? But then I remember sitting my mom down one day, and I'm like, Mom, I'm going to move to the States, and I'm going to go racing. And she looked at me, poor mom. She got whiter than this backdrop here. And I took the plunge and experienced one of the most frustrating years of my life. Like, I thought I knew. I had no clue, you know. And then Gary, Troy, and a buddy of mine from Florida called Chris Knapp, they just opened my eyes to like holding and showing up and using nitrous and, you know, dropping and like all this stuff that it was just like, I thought it was like hit the tree and run the number, you know, but no, there's so much more. And yes, the information they have provided me and the guidance is just invaluable, you know. It's just, I do feel lucky.
So there's 3 of us standing here, and 2 of us have won national events, and I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
So you have had some super comp success. It was Charlotte, right? Is that what, like what Britt told me in my ear over here? I don't know. I'm not Lewis Bloom.
Yeah.
But where would a $1 million race win, would you forget about Charlotte?
Well, clearly this is the pinnacle of bracket racing, right? But then again, NHRA does carry a certain level of prestige, especially, you know, again, coming from Puerto Rico, we would watch the national events all the time, and, you know, national dragster, and man, like one day I can be in there, right? So I've only run like 4 or 5 national events total, but for sure having that victory there, that was just, man, and that was very early on in coming over here, so it's a milestone that I don't think I'll ever forget, you know. But $1 million, I'll try hard to, you know.
You might just have like see the head of the Wally over top of the trophy on the shelf, something. But just Troy's in the hunt right now for a Super Comp national title. Is he thinking about sending you out the block?
Wait, what now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I'm not going to be doing NHRA this season. And honestly, I don't think he needs the help, man. That's one bad hombre, bro. Like I see Troy, like you see him at one of these races, and one of the things that's the craziest about them is Gary's nasty, but he's more structured, right? Like Gary has you know, but Troy, he'll dial honest, dial over, dial the spray, like hold 2, hold 6, like it's just crazy, man. Like you just never know where he's coming, you know? So it's like, you just kind of got to believe in what you're doing and send it. So I don't think he needs the help.
Yeah, you know Troy just about as good as anybody, and you see when he wakes up in the morning whether he's probably going to win that day or not. And Troy on a mission is one of those guys that you just try to stay away from and pray to God he turns it a thou red somewhere.
Yeah, that is actually they are their own worst enemy, to be honest. Like that little cherry popping up red by a couple thou is their demise quite often, but that's kind of what makes them so good, right? Like we're all capable of laying down a good package, right? I think that what differentiates the elite racers from the rest of us is their ability to just lay down that nastiness run after run after run, right? And Troy and Gary are some of the best at it, you know. And I don't want to like get into too much detail about their strategies or whatnot, but I'll just tell you this, man. Like when they're set up to let go here, they're set up tight, man. Like they're set up real tight on there. So, you know, it comes with the territory. If you want to be good and lay nasty runs down often, you got to play with that ragged edge, not only on the starting line but at the finish line too. You know.
Clay, I'm loving doing these interviews. I might make it out of 3rd round by the time we get all these interviews done at the end of this week. Andre, thank you for changing your plans. I know you were en route to the hotel to change clothes and all that stuff, but Fuel Tech everywhere, man.
Put it on the live feed. Yeah. I was gonna leave. Sorry, Fuel Tech. I was going out of the track for a few minutes.
Yeah, there is nobody.
I might not have a job on Monday, but you know. So we'll see. I hope that you're hiring after this.
Yeah, Britt will. He's got you.
Okay.
You like striping parking lots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I might have to.
But yeah, Fuel Tech everywhere. Thank you for being a part of the Great American Bracket Race Series, and thank you for having the support trailer everywhere, because I know that's a lot of windshield time for you. Florida is not close to anywhere we bracket race for big money usually.
Georgia.
Yeah, but you hang out in Florida a lot, right?
God, man, live feed.
Oh, with Troy and Gary.
Goodness gracious. Yes, with Troy and Gary. Yeah.
Andre Nunez from Fuel Tech, man. Good luck tomorrow, the next day.
Thank you.
Hope to do this again later.
All right, buddy.
No offense, Shannon.
With customer service and technical support second to none, FTI Performance Converters and Transmission give you the winning edge. Just ask any of our customers, like 2014 IHRA Top Dragster World Champion Kevin Brannon, or the 2014 IHRA Super Rod World Champion Mike Ruff. We are real racers with real experience. Call us today at toll-free at 866-726-8358 or visit us on the web at www.ftiperformance.com.
Some people just think parts is parts, but not us. Because we know when you order any of the over 1 million parts at jegs.com, you get the whole company. Expert advice, day or night, from the pros who know how to make you go. From now on, get your parts and your smarts only at jegs.com. Selection, service, and sweet satisfaction. That is jegs.com. How about I stay back?
Oh, okay, we're live. How about that? So the Pro 1 pit report over here. Alan Wickel, you're from Saraland, Alabama.
Actually, Orange Beach now.
Orange Beach now. Yeah, you're taking time out of your busy beach schedule to come race for $1 million. I know that you normally light hundreds on fire to stay warm at night, but what's it like? You know, you were around, you and Tracy both at the beginning of the B&M series and stuff like that way back when all this stuff really got real kicked up. And here you are on a golf cart for $5,001, which you guys both won $1 million bonus. Congratulations. 1 million, courtesy of Lupe Tortilla. But that was brutal last night. I said, hey, y'all are on the buy, and well, what was I, 2? Okay. And he said, you hear that, Tracy? I was 2. Tracy said, I thought I was better than that. But we got down to 4, and you guys were 2 of them on the same John Deere-looking Yamaha golf cart, right?
That was us.
So Tracy went down the first pair. He's 8, right? And you're like, ah, that's cute, you know.
I told him. I'm setting for 5. I missed it a little. I think I was 8. I rolled it in a little deep, but.
So we were fanning the engine as we rolled it up to the starting line. We were pushing. We had a crew.
We iced her down a few times.
Like a stock eliminator heads-up final round, huh?
That's what we told everybody.
So you guys do this bracket racing thing at 2 broad ends of the spectrum. Alan likes to go 430s, single carb, and his car, and do wheelies most of the time, having a good time and cashing a lot of checks. Tracy, you have a beautiful Camaro, and for some reason, every time we're at the same racetrack, you have to pull up next to me, and I have to race you all the time, and I'm tired of it. So if you could leave the Camaro out one night overnight, I can promise it won't happen for a while.
It's not staying out.
But for you guys to be here racing for $1 million guaranteed, right? You've raced for some of the biggest purses there have been to date. Yeah. And I know for you, it's just $1 million, right?
Oh, come on.
You know.
$1 million is a lot of money, and I mean, what Britt and GAYLON has done here to put this on is amazing, you know, and we're just glad to be a part of it, you know. Try not to think about, you know, what's at stake here. Just go out here and have a good time and, you know, try to lay down some good laps and see what happens.
Do you have any momentum out of the Great American Series coming into here?
I was at 22 cars the other night and had a good run against Sherman Adcock, but just hopefully the next couple of days we can put it together.
Like any dream team wins that you can think of?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's
for who? Deal. For me or for you?
For the dream team.
The dream team. It was you and Trampus and Travis Barnett and Billy Fuller Jr. and I know we just talked about. We said Billy and Justin Albritton. That's right. And Justin's a guy that just like you will pull a bunch of different clubs out of the bag to get it done. That was a pretty good dream team because we got you guys in the semifinal, and I was 2 take 5 on Trampus, and he sent me back home with like 4 change. Like, have a good time and thank you, see you later. And you guys had a good run with Bobby Moat, I know, and that was probably one of the most intense rounds of the dream team race.
Yes, it was. We was lucky to get by that one. I think that was the toughest round we had, definitely.
We were just a bunch of scrubs, you know. I mean, really.
Well, we were too, you know.
Yeah. Well, okay. Tracy, you know, you've been doing this a long time, and you've been out of the Tennessee area, and you have pretty much Huntsville and a bunch of other tracks that are right in your area. And we're in Memphis, which is the opposite end of Tennessee from where you're at. You're about 4 hours from home. And, you know, what is it like to be able to race for $1 million, not only in your home state, right? It's cool. But you have the opportunity to go race anywhere, and we're here in Memphis for $1 million.
Right. Yeah, where I live, I'm located to a lot of good tracks. I'm 2 hours from Bowling Green. I'm an hour from Huntsville. I'm an hour from Nashville. 4 hours from Bristol. 4 hours from here. So, any given week, I can go race for some good money, anywhere. But to travel 4 hours from the house and race for $1 million, ain't nothing like it. You ain't got to drive across country. So, I've got us a good spot where I live at. So I'll be able to come down here.
You mentioned Nashville. Okay, let's just talk about Music City Raceway on a 5K Saturday night. I can name off 10 names right now that you could see it there at any time. You could see Jason Lynch, right. Bryson Scruggs, John LaBouche Jr. Yep. Who else we got down there? Hold on, I got it. All of the Richardsons. Anybody last name Richardson, which I know you're really good friends with Blake and Edmund and Scotty and all of them. I mean, that has to prepare you for $1 million race here, right? Because all of that success from all of those guys for a $5-grander at the hill at 4:30 in the morning,
It is, and there's a lot of from Huntsville area, Alabama, to Nashville. I was told when I started racing back in the late '80s, early '90s, that if you can win in Alabama, you can win a race anywhere.
Is that true?
Yes, definitely.
I think there's a lot of good racers around in those areas, and every time I go to the racetrack, there's really no gimmies because everybody you pull up against. They're on their game, just like, they're brutal, It is, all of them. There's no easy rounds. There's nobody, everybody I race against at any of these tracks are, they're tier 1 guys, and you have to set up and be prepared to lay down the best lap you can against them. And, one good thing about being around all that kind of crowd and all those guys, all the Richardsons and the Booses and all of them, if you pay attention, you learn a lot of stuff. And, when you race good people, it's going to make your game a little better.
As much as we ran, I've learned enough from you, okay? Let me just tell you that right now. But you guys the golf cart race was a heck of a time. Yeah, it was a lot of entries. It was 220-something entries, I think, 210. We had $5,001 to win. I know Tracy got the Weld gift certificate, right?
Right.
And you got the $1?
I got the, no,
you cut it in half.
I got half of it.
Half of the $1 from the $5,001.
You're going to split it. So I tore it in half and give him half of it, and I kept half of it.
Yeah, he come to me, and me and Guppy's known each other for years. We used to travel around, do the B&M series, and man, the stories we could tell from back in them days. And
it's not now, not at this moment.
No. And he come to me and said, "Hey, let's go get in the golf cart race." I said, "You're kidding, right?" So I said, "Okay." I've never been in a golf cart race in the driver's seat. It's always just been a fun time drinking beer in the passenger seat. But I said, "Okay, let's give it a shot." And we pulled up there in the lanes, and he said, "You know how long it's been since I left off the bottom?" I said, "Yeah, me too, about 30 years. So, but anyway, we started drinking beer and going a couple rounds, and then we put the beer aside and sort of took it serious and had a good time. And, I think we need to make regular racing like this because it's nothing like having a co-pilot where you can get in there and you get to the finish line and your wind light comes on, you got somebody to high five. But regular racing, you ain't got that.
It's real hard with those arm restraints to pat yourself on the back, isn't it? Yeah.
So, we had a great time doing that. That was awesome.
Well, I know that early in the round of the golf cart race, I was looking at all these combinations that are on golf carts. You had like Corey Gliddy and Caroline McCarty. Caroline fresh off a $30,000 race win. Corey, all the talent in the world, off the top ball, whatever he wants to do. I've seen him hit the bottom. He's not very good at it, just like me. But you guys rode around the corner, and I looked at somebody. I looked at somebody and said, "That's not good for anybody." For one, there was still beer in your hand. Okay. For one, I said that's not good, and for two, I'm sitting here thinking of like all of the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you guys have in paper checks hanging on your wall. That's got to be something you're really proud of, really, and it's just another notch in the belt of the racers and the caliber of competition we have here. I know you guys aren't you're very humble people, but I know that everybody else knows here that just like we talked about with Shannon Walker, you roll around the corner and you've got Tracy or Alan, it's got to be A-game time. I always say every time I run Tracy, I love racing half of Tracy because his car's going dead on.
Yeah.
Because I normally don't have any idea how fast I can go. The other half I hate about racing Tracy, he's normally 00 something. So best of luck to you guys this weekend. You know, Clay, oh.
Does it feel weird interviewing your dad?
So I was going to clarify that. So I had to run Alan Wickel twice at Holly Springs during the Great American Dream Team Challenge. One run I was 00 dead 8, and he threw down 5 total next to me. He was like perfect dead 5. I thought, that's a good lap. I still had another entry. So I'm like, look at me, it's where we combine door cars and dragsters round 5, and I pull up there and I'm like, I'm in the back of the door cars. They haven't called any dragsters yet, and I know who comes right about the middle of dragsters. Alan Wickel rolls around the corner. I'm like, oh, okay. I'll do the same thing, right? 00 dead on. He's like 1, take 2 or something. I thought I was going to set him down and show him something he's never seen before. It didn't work.
I just was on the lucky end of them. That's all that was.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well,
it's got to be on the lucky side of the fence when you have a run like that.
Well, I need you to keep this hat here. Thank you guys for coming out this weekend. Best of luck to you in the guaranteed $1 million main event race. And congratulations on your Alliance RACEWEAR $5,001 and Weld gift certificate golf cart race.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything y'all
it was
do.
fun. It was fun. I told her, just joking around, we was goofing around last week at the racetrack, and I told one of my buddies, I said, I need, all these guys are doubling up and putting 2 cars in the winner's circle, and I said, I ain't never done that, and everybody always did. I said, I got to figure out something different. I said, and I was just joking around, I said, I need to figure out how to win and runner up with 1 entry. I didn't know it was going to have a passenger in there, and it was going to be in a golf cart.
Going 1460 to the 330.
1460, yeah. So that was fun. It was.
So if we have another one tonight, are you guys going out on top, or are we coming back for some more money?
We got the buy run, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is this where the rich get richer?
Yeah.
I was kind of worried about when he calls to come up here. I thought it was getting protested or something.
Well, actually, we called you up here because Cody Harger's back at your trailer tearing the golf cart apart. So,
yeah.
Best of luck, guys, this weekend, and have a good time. And I know that wherever you are, you normally do, in fact, have a good time because I found who was in charge of the golf cart race last night, and it wasn't either one of you.
That's right. Thanks, guys. Enjoyed it.
Alan Wickel, Tracy Guffey, good luck this weekend.
LARIS Motorsports Insurance, 4 generations in the insurance business and over 30 years in motorsports, offering package policy for all your valuable racing equipment, on the road or at the track. Be a winner with LARIS Motorsports Insurance. Go to Facebook today. Get a quote from LARIS Motorsports Insurance.
As we're just discussing the rules right here. Is it boy baby or baby boy?
It's boy baby.
That makes no sense to me. So is there something in Nashville, Arkansas that's a little different than around here?
No, it's just you got a lot of people out there, they call themselves baby boys, but there's only one boy baby. It's the last boy child.
So we were discussing the Great American Dream Team Challenge. We ran you guys in round number 2 of that. And we couldn't decide who wanted to run who, right? So I had a little inside information that you guys had everybody figured out. But we had no idea who was going to drive the door car, right?
Right.
So I arrogantly walked up there feeling pretty good and said, all right, baby boy, you go up there and pick a lane and I'll just get the other one. I got pretty lucky.
Yeah, you got pretty lucky, especially when I looked over in the pre-stage and you were looking at me. I said, well, here we go. Time to stage them up. I'm not going in.
I know Ryan had that at like 3.5 minutes, right? And I think you ended up turning the wheel. And I looked over as I started to turn the wheel on my door car. Yours was already turned. I didn't want to catch us there.
That would have been a bad situation. But I don't have a problem staging first, but I kind of figured once you looked at me, I wasn't going in first.
We had a time run earlier in the week, right? And neither one of us went in first. We sat there for a good minute in a time run.
I mean, that's just one of the things. I mean, when I'm set up, I usually don't like to go in first. I will, but more often than not, I'm probably not going in first.
It's just a thing. I don't know. If I go in first and I sit there a long time, I'm probably going red. So before I go in, I'm going to turn the wheel. That way I set the clock and know how long it's going to be before you come in.
It's no secret. It's not that, you know, I got by with a round win in a car that I had no idea what was going to run. I just looked over and said, I might be getting there. Here's one rip. Here we go. And it ended up getting in my favor. But you won $20,000 about a month ago, right? Or maybe 2 months ago. 2 months ago in July. 15 at the CP Promotions event in Texas. And I was announcing that deal, and you were absolutely ruthless. I mean, you ran Corey Gallitti in the final, right?
No, it was
Who was it that night?
Bob Krause in the final. It was Bob Krause in the final.
I must have had the name of the system wrong. I don't know. I don't remember. I slept since then.
It was a green S10 little guy. I think he runs around Paris a lot. It was a pretty good day for me. I think I carried both entries deep to the 5th round when I had to run the bye run, which was Carson Wheeler, which he was 5 dead 2 on me. So it was a tough lap to get by, but we came back, and I think at 11 cars, I ended up running and ended up with the bye run at 6. So I had to run Austin Williams at 6, and luckily got by him. I let him have a stripe, gave it to him 3 thou for him to break out 2 thou more than me, and I was dead on. So it was some good laps, and then I think at 3 cars, I sat in the back of the lanes, and Cody Hart was like, just sit here, I'm going to tell you what you got to be so you can get lane choice. And I said, all right. So as they left, I think the best light that round was 16, and I rolled up under the tower, and Cody was like, you got to be better than 16. I'm like, oh, I've been that all day. So I rolled up under, and I crushed the trip zip, and as I'm coming back through the pits, everybody looking at me, giving me the triple O, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we got this. This is it. This the day.
So I want to know if David Burr Jones has brought you breakfast on the $1 Million Day, because isn't that what the rule was? Like, he has to bring you breakfast from here on out?
I swear that has been the problem. I haven't won a round since. He brought me breakfast that morning. It was like 8 a.m. He walks into my trailer. Me and my mom in there asleep. Well, my mom wasn't asleep. She was up in her gown. And she pops in, and he looks in the door, and he's like, is Chris up yet? And I'm back there asleep, and I wake up with a what was it, a sprinkled donut hole, and he's rubbing it on my lips, and I like, where did
whoa.
Hey, it's Bird. You just got to know him.
Breakfast in bed from David Bird Jones.
Breakfast in bed from the guy that's never lost a bracket race, David Bird Jones.
Yeah, and anywhere you go, though, whether you're winning or losing, you're having a good time, and you can hear it from the other end of the racetrack usually. That winner circle is probably one of the loudest winner circles I have ever been a part of, and I'm pretty sure it's Tova's fault.
Yeah, it's got to be Tovey's fault. He keeps me pretty humble throughout the day, I must say. He's my crew chief. He's going to make sure my tires are right. He's going to make sure my gas is good. And then if he gets on Colton's golf cart, he's going to make sure he's in the lane blasting the music next to me. Most people can't stand it, but we love it.
I think whenever we had to run each other, do you race with headphones in? Because at one time I saw you in the lane just bobbing your head like this, and I saw some chords maybe. Maybe that was just a radio from Tova or something.
Sometimes I have headphones in if I can't find Tovey on the golf cart. I will have headphones in, and I play my favorite song. It's going to be Future March Madness. If I got that going, I know the next round mine.
So I'm learning a lot. I'm telling you, Clay, I am going out of 3rd round this week.
So I was just sitting here thinking, y'all talking about y'all's battle you had on the starting line, and you probably ain't old enough, but at one point I used to be a sportsman racer and let go of the button and had been through every kind of stage and thing you can imagine. Don't run off, Jake, because don't run off. So when I started Top Fuel, I'm like, this is how you stage, you make up your mind. You're going to go first, you're going to go last, you make those up.
Right.
Well, I learned quickly in the pro ranks, somebody might shut you off on the starting line, and then somebody might want to come over and smack you on the side of the head, but that didn't happen between y'all two, I take it.
No.
Not that it didn't want to happen, I don't think.
I was sitting there. I mean, I was prepared to be there for a little while. I wasn't really worried about it. But usually after a while, I'll go ahead and turn the wheel, and I'll be like, that lets both drivers know, okay, let's go ahead and go with it.
I got to tell the truth. I hadn't been able to make myself man up yet and do that in the fuel car, but don't think I haven't thought about it.
God. You do that in the fuel car, I believe you're going down in history for that one.
What would Clover do?
You know what? I'll tell the truth real quick, and this is about you, not about me. But the good thing about Mike Clover that I've never had with any of my other crew chiefs, it is 100% my car when it starts. He says, I got your back no matter if you want to run it out of fuel, sitting there on the starting line, it doesn't matter. Whatever you think it takes to turn the wind light on.
That's right. And I mean, that's how it should be. Once you sit in the car, their job is done. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do then.
That's fact. After our time run, though, I did pre-stage at 125 degrees with the fan on.
He already knew I wasn't going. I think he called it when I was running in the finals. If you go back on YouTube and look it up, he was like, Chris Jones will not stage first. And then I think that's when the other guy went in. I wasn't going.
Well, I know that you plan on going a whole lot of rounds, and I know that you've been kind of a rough road to get here. I know that the Snake's helping you out, and you've had a lot of bad luck since then, and I don't think it's because I was there, but I know that to win a million will be cool for the money, but I know it'll take a huge relief off your shoulders after what you've been through in the last month or so.
Man, I tell you, it was 2 weeks after winning the money in Texas, I found out that my front half was broke on my car. I dropped it off at Casey Lane on August the 9th, and he chopped the front half for me, and then I picked the car up the day before we showed up at Dallas. And when I say it came off the trailer, it was running flawless. I had 2 entries Friday and Saturday. Both of them went deep rounds. Then on Sunday, first round, 300 foot against Turbo Ty Casey. After he turns it red, the motor just pops and drops at the other end. So, I mean, I was out quite a bit of money to get the front end done. And then when I got home that weekend, Shy was like, pull the motor out, get it to me. We're going to have it done before the million. So thanks to Shy and my boy over there, Snake Power Racing Engines, I was able to get the motor done, put in Saturday morning, and I made it up here Saturday night, and I ran the IHRA bracket finals that Sunday. So I got 2 passes on the car before we started over here on Tuesday.
So if Clay was asking this to everybody, if you win the $1 million main event, I know you're going to take care of your mama, right? We know that's first. Where are we going? What are we buying?
First thing I gotta do is I gotta get my mama a new motorhome. She getting cramped out in that trailer down there. So if we win the million, we gotta get us a nice motorhome to travel in, and I gotta go pay off some debts, and we're gonna party hard.
That is without a doubt. Everywhere you go, you do have a good time. And I don't know where you're parked, but you should probably just go park outside of David Burton-Jones' toter home and not leave till he gets you breakfast.
That's what I'm thinking. I'll probably do that. I'll make a phone call in a minute, see where he's at.
He's right here. If you pull in the gate from the road, you just drive straight through.
Oh, I know where he's parked at, but there's no guarantee he's there.
But you can park to where he can't be there, right?
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
It's like a peaceful protest right here in the pit area for breakfast.
Always. It's going to be peaceful.
Chris, it's awesome to have you out here with us. I don't know, I'm just handing these out from Lupe Tortilla. There's your first million. Hopefully you win another million on Monday, man. Congratulations for even making it here, because it's been a heck of a struggle, and good luck to you the rest of the week.
It has. I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my boy Shad. He took care of me and got my motor done for me. I want to thank him for that. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Absolutely. Chris, good luck. Have a good time. That was rhetorical. I know that's going to happen. And maybe we'll get out here in the golf cart race again tonight, and we'll have you DJ again over here next to the starting line.
I had a pretty good time last night. My boy Chase Murray, he took care of me last night. We had a good time. I looked over, and he was like, Jello shots coming out of the syringe, and I was like, yeah, give me one of them. And then I think his mom gave me some like butterball shots, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do them too. But I was already going on tequilas, but it was a good night. We was mixing everything up.
I tell you what, if you are thirsty around anybody with Lupe Tortilla involvement, you're in big trouble. But good luck, Chris. Have a good time, and thanks for being a part of the guaranteed $1 million race here in Memphis.
Hey, I appreciate it. I thank y'all.
So we are back at the Pro 1 Pit Report with Iron Mike Fuquay, and that's a name that kind of went away for a good while. I know you posted on Facebook that you're back in your own racing rig, and if you knew that we were racing for $1 million in 2020, you'd have never sold what you had. But what's it like rebuilding not only with yourself, but with Blake right here along with you?
Well, I can tell you, if I'd known all this, I would have definitely kept the rig. It's been, you know, you accumulate stuff over a long period of time, and man, when you got to go buy it all back again, it hurts a little bit. That's for sure.
Inflation.
Exactly. It inflated a little bit. It seemed like it came easier back in the day. It don't come so easy now.
We don't get rid of the cigarette boats yet, though, do we?
No, not yet. We're going to hang on to it for a little bit.
So you're involved in a lot, the family business, making custom billet motorcycle wheels is mainly what FTD is known for, right? But we've branched out. We've got front wheels. We've got a bunch of billet aluminum products, and Blake's kind of started his own dead-on racing products thing, and he's kind of trying to find a way to make money in this industry just like you did many years ago when you started the JEGS US Open.
Exactly. Well, FTD is we're now the largest motorcycle wheel manufacturer in the United States. So we make motorcycle wheels for almost every Harley Davidson and most every sport bike. We travel around to all the Harley events, set up our big rig, and do that. So Blake, he started work with me a couple years ago, and he got started racing. He kept beating me up about making some drag racing wheels, and I couldn't figure it because I don't know. It just seemed like just way too difficult. He stayed on me, and finally, Blake, it was over the winter. I finally said, all right, let's do this. He started his dead-on racing products. He's been selling a lot of stuff, and it's been good. All the wheels we've made so far, we've sold them faster than we can make them, and that's the actual truth. We can't get them made fast enough. And 2 weeks ago, now you can get them at ftdcustoms.com. You can get them on dead-on racing products, and now you can get them at JEGS. JEGS put them in their catalog 2 weeks ago.
That's really big news. That's definitely got to make you feel good. And I mean, Blake gets a kickback, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to.
He gets to go racing.
I'm trying to let him take care of that while we take care of the motorcycle wheel business. See if we can make this grow. And I think you're going to see us a little bit more, maybe with the displays. We should be able to get it straight and get the wheels here and be at the track and have them. The problem, I don't want to be the guy, because I've been that guy years ago, waiting for my wheels to show up at the chassis shop so I can finish my car. So we're kind of crawling before we walk. Make sure we got everything ready before, like I don't want Britt to call me waiting on his new car and I ain't got his wheels done. I just don't want to be that guy. So we're trying to make sure we got them all in stock and ready before we really, really push this thing.
I know we're just in here during halftime of the Vols game. You want to get right back to that because, you know, I asked Blake, I said, hey, I need you and Mike up here. He said, well, he's going to come at the halftime. You know, we're not missing the Vols game, but
not me, him. I don't
care. You were really one of the first racers to step out and say, I want to pay $50,000, $10,000 to a winner at a bracket race. That was a long time ago, like 2000, what was the U.S. Open?
Man, I have to remember, it goes way back to 2000, 2001. Me and back that time, my brother-in-law, Dave Zerlag, we got together and we said, man, we ought to just try putting on a race. He called me. I said, man, you're crazy. He was driving home from somewhere, and we were talking on the phone. I said, man, we could do that. We could have some 10-granders, and we'll put it on and be a race, full racers by racers. That's what we said. And we started that thing. Yeah, and the very first one was at Tri-State. We put it all together, and we got this idea to do these best losing packages, and it all come together, and it was a huge success back then. And it went, we did that. We kept growing. It ended up being 20s, and it was a lot of fun for 10 years. We did it. It was a great time.
Absolutely, and that's kind of like, that was like the snowball effect, right? We started with that then, and here we are for $1 million. What, I mean, I've asked a couple of different people that have put on bracket races, and like, when you started, and we told you, hey, it's going to pay $1 million one day, like guaranteed money no matter what, like to the winner, what would you just said?
Well, I can tell you this. About 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago, Bill Bader called me from Norwalk, and he just asked me about doing a real $1 million race there. And I was like, well, it can't be done unless you get a sponsor to pay for all the money. Nobody could pay this kind of entry fee. And then back, I guess, a year or two ago, the Bayou Bullet called me one day, and he said, I got to tell you something, but you got to swear. He made me sign a blood oath and no compete clause, and I don't know what else. He's like, hey, I'm going to pay $1 million over there. I said, there ain't no way, man. You're crazy. And look, we proved us all wrong. Man, I tell you, I've been to a lot of bracket races. This thing is amazing, and it's fun. I really enjoy this. I would never miss another one of these.
Yeah, this deal with Britt and GAYLON, it's kind of like I've worked a bunch of these bracket races. This is one of those, there's not a stone that's not been turned over and checked, right? Everything that we do, GAYLON's like, no, we've got a plan for that. Britt's like, no, we got a plan for that. We've got it figured out. This is what we're going to do. And they had it figured out before it happened, and that's kind of the part of making a successful event, as you know. But $1 million, I mean, that is crazy. Like, how many more cigarette boats and toter homes we're going to buy?
Well, I can tell you, if you had $1 million, you could buy about 2 or 3 cigarette boats. That'd be nice for sure.
You could buy a couple of yours, right?
Exactly. You get mine, the trailer, and some more stuff to go with it. But I'm telling you, just the fact that you can race for $1 million, I never dreamed in a million years when you round that corner tomorrow, you can change your life. I mean, I don't know about everybody, but I would be in pretty good shape if I got $1 million tomorrow afternoon.
So on the Blake side of things, Blake was a hockey player for a long time growing up and into his late teen years. Seeing him evolve as a driver has got to feel pretty good, and it's got to reminisce quite a bit because you were there. All of the IHRA World Championships you won in your day, all of the things that you have been through, you started where Blake was at, and you kind of understood, even though you might not listen and know that you've been there, because I parked next to you a couple of times, but he's came a long way in a short amount of time, and that's got to make you feel pretty good as well.
Exactly. I can even tell you a good story about Blake real quick, Ben. We got time.
Oh, we got all the time for that. Let's hear it.
So we start out with, I always figured he would probably race. Well, anyway, we got him this street Camaro that he got. So I take him to Music City Raceway. We go the first time, and I've taught him just a little bit about what you need to do. He made a few runs, and everything's going well. I don't know, didn't do so good the first day. This was like on a Tuesday night. So we head back Friday night. And so I'm up there, I'm ready, we're ready to go. And he's got a couple girlfriends, a couple buddies. I mean, everybody's up there. He makes a run. I know I shouldn't say it.
Chip off the old block.
Anyway, he got all this going on, and well, I'm up here trying to figure out how we're going to win this race. It's a street car race on Friday night, and I think he turned it red first and second time or something. So we get home, we get to work the next day or Monday. I come in, I said there at lunch, I said, son, this is what we got to do. You got to let me know whether you want to go up here and you want to win, or you want to go up here and have fun. Because you want to have fun, I'm good with that. I'll drink beer and watch you race. But if we're going to go win, that's a whole different focus. We got to do it that way. And I said, don't answer me now. Give me a week or two. So a week or two goes by, and he come in one day. He goes, Dad, I want to win. So then we sat down. We started with the Hot Wheels, and we got all the math figured out. Once he got it figured in his head, I think in that Camaro, he ended up in 35 finals with it in about a year and a half. And then over the winter, one of my best friends, Britt, he's got that Camaro that we got now, and Underwood was driving it, and Underwood had quit, and Anthony sent it down to the house. We put motor and tranny all in it, and I think the second week out he won a $5,000, and from there it just seems to be getting better and better, which is I'm so proud of it, and now probably way better than I ever was, to be honest with you.
So you're saying he's passed you already? Because I don't think Iron Mike's done just yet.
Well, I ain't done just yet. Maybe we'll sneak in and get another one or two.
Awesome to have you guys here at the Great American Guaranteed $1 Million Race event. Awesome to see you and Blake out here doing what you guys love to do and what you have loved to do for many years now. And it's been a long time since IHRA days. I don't know if you recognize this guy over here.
Man, me and this guy right here, I told the story yesterday. We were sitting in my trailer in Budds Creek, Maryland. We were sitting there drinking beer after I think it was, Clay, when was that? Long time ago. He come over, and we were Saturday night, we were drinking beer, and Clay comes in, he sits down, he goes, man, I'm going to drive a top fuel car. I was like, you're going to do what? He said, I'm going to drive a Chicago White Sox car tomorrow. I was like, or next week. I said, you're going to do what? And sure enough, from then on, he's been, I don't know how many world championships he won in IHRA and how many races he's won anymore. It's way over my head, that's for sure.
So, Blake, got to ask you, and your pops is an old guy. He ain't quite old as I am, but he's an old guy. What's your favorite memory of him racing?
Well, a lot of the real memories I won't remember much because, like he said, I played hockey from when I was 4, 5 to when I was 18. So last year. So most of the racing that he really did, I was too young to remember, but. I mean, just even.
Do you remember the million?
Huh?
Randy's million?
Yeah, I mean, he won a 30-grander at Randy's million one year, I think. If I remember, he was driving 2 cars. Right? You were driving 2 cars, right? He was driving Britt's car and somebody else's car, and I would drive him from car to car between runs. You were double deep, right? He was still in late.
Blake was about 6 years old, and I had him on the golf cart run me back and forth. Just me and him. We were at Muncie, Indiana at the million. That's where it was. That's probably the last time we raced.
Yeah, so I mean, I was 6. That's the most recent time that we raced together. But even the other day, he was second round of the 80-grander. He was 11 and couldn't win. He comes back and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's racing now. A couple weeks ago, we're at Music City racing for $2,000, and I'm 8 dead 4 losing. I'm 1,000 behind, 8 dead 4. Come on, man. Something's got to give. You'd think, right? But that's racing now, and he's just, I guess, gonna have to get used to, you know, it's it's tough. He showed me a video of a world championship at Bristol that he won like in the 90s or like 96 maybe, right? Top dragster. And he's like, I don't know, he's like 20 bulb and one above or dead on for the win. I'm like,
That was good back then, by the way.
yeah, 20 and dead on wins back then, 20 and dead on now, like, you know. Yeah, you could take a nap after that. You know, you're not coming back for after 20 and dead on.
Yeah. I have no idea why he's talking about those stuff.
Well, I tell you what.
He's only raced 3 times in 3 years, so I mean, like, there's no recent stuff to talk about, really.
Well, I tell you what. Britt's sitting over in the corner, and probably me more than Britt. When I lined up against Iron Mike, I'm like, dadgummit. And I didn't do a ton of top dragster, but done a bunch of quick rod, and we had to run a bunch, and you had to bring it. And I don't care if he was 20 on the tree, because 20 on the tree was really good back then. But so Mike, for you, if I just got to say just one of them, what's your favorite? Y'all know mine. It's Bristol. That's easy.
Well, mine, it was easy. It was Bristol, too. It was 96 when I was trying to win the world in top dragster. I was racing Britt for it. He was about to beat me. We got to Bristol, and I didn't qualify for top dragster. So it was 32 cars back then, and I didn't get in. And I broke a converter. Anyway, I fixed it all, you know, drug it up for the alternate. You had alternates back then. But I was like the 8th alternate. I had no chance to get in. And as I drove up there, all 8 of the quick 8 guys left their craters in the car. I never said a word to nobody. I mean, I'm sorry, left their cars in the trailer. So it was Jim Fudge, TJ Lefter, Bruce Slitten, all them guys that ran so fast back in the quick 8s on Saturday night. I towed up there, and none of them were there. And I looked around. I had no idea what was going on. They all standing on the fence. And I ended up getting in the race, and I had to win the race to win the championship, and I won it. And I remember being up there with Scotty Cannon. And I think that one was Doug Herbert, Scotty Cannon, somebody else. And at the old Bristol, and I signed autographs for hours. People just come out of the stands. You know, even I was a nobody in the smaller classes, but it was just the coolest thing. I won that race and won the world championship not being qualified. That's how it happened. That's my most special one.
Britt, is that what you was telling me about, that Iron Mike bought his way into a championship?
And there was a rain delay, and I was up on top of the tower doing a rain dance.
That was it. That's of all the ones I ever done, that, and then winning that one race.
All of the ones I've ever done.
And then with the one at Randy's Million, when Blake went with me, it was just me and him. It was about 6. I wasn't even racing, just hanging out. Britt come over and say, "Would you drive this?" And we ended up winning, beat Gary in the final, or Gary Red Light in the final, I think. And he was with me, and I Scuba Steve sends some pictures of that from time to time.
He was like 10. I watched the video the other day. He was like 10 bulb.
I'm gonna make you walk back to the trailer. You keep on.
It ain't raining that hard anymore.
So that immediately makes me want to ask a question. Have y'all raced each other yet?
Oh no. Well, door cars and dragsters are separated, so I won't have to run him until, you know, the finals somewhere along the line.
Let's hope so.
Because he's only driven the Camaro that we have now. He's only driven that thing like twice, like once or twice, and I don't know. I guess he just doesn't like door cars.
He is a dragster guy, kind of like I am, that's for sure.
That's right.
So Mike, you was telling me the dragster had been sitting there for a while, and you fired it up, broke some rocker arms.
Man, that's the way it goes. I bought this thing a year ago. I got it a month ago, and I drove it the first time 3 days ago. But it's sitting there in the garage. Me and Blake decided to warm it up before we come here, and it's idling. It broke idling. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is how it's going to start. But it's all back together. It's all good. It's running good, and just see what we can do tomorrow.
See what we can do tomorrow.
I do actually have a funny story about it.
He's for sure. Do I need to stand in between you two? I'm not going to do that.
Well, he told it to me the other day. I wasn't even alive yet, but this was, I think he said it was at Bristol, and I'm a horrible storyteller in this sense because I don't remember all of the details, but you just got a new motor or something, or you were trying to qualify for top dragster or some deal, and Pro Mod had just ran either before or after, or they were going to run after you.
There was the night of fire.
Yeah, it was a night of fire, and Pro Mod was going to run before or after you, and this guy, was it Scotty Cannon was the one that did the big burnouts?
Yeah, it was. I can tell you, it was Morocco. It was the night of fire. You were there. Oh yeah. You were in the lanes to run. Yep. And all the pros were there. I was the last guy in top dragster to run. So when I had my Huntsville engine motor with Gary Rivas, Britt and them are all there, and I was going. So the whole at Morocco, no, not Morocco, that's not right. Cordova, where they had the big night of fire, and the stands were packed. And Gary comes over, and I said, "Hey Gary, watch this. I'm gonna show off one time." And I rolled out there, and I did me a burnout. I stopped at about the 330-foot mark, and when I looked down, the oil pressure dropped to 0, and I got out and looked in the oil pressure line, the big line. It blew out the oil pump, and I had pumped 8 gallons of oil all the way down at 5 minutes till 7. And I literally got out and I looked back, and I just got out of my car and I walked and I crawled across the fence and went to my trailer. I didn't even get it. I left it sitting there the way it was. And the IHRA changed the rule on that Monday that all your oil lines had to be certified after that. That was my fault. It put the show was 2 hours behind cleaning the mess, and everybody was mad at me for that one. But it was a great burnout until then.
All good things must come to an end. I guess like this interview, but that's why we like have diapers and stuff now, right? To help move races that are very time crucial along, just like we are going to have here this weekend. But good luck to both of you. I know that both of you are very capable of getting this thing done. I know that you have that kill mode still left in you. I know Blake has it in him. I've seen it. Dead on Blake is not just because he likes a good name for a business. He can drive the Camaro just as good as anybody.
All the other email addresses were taken. That's what
all the other email double O Blake's gone.
They were all gone.
Teen and one above Blake's gone.
Ain't none of them were good.
But Mike, thank you for coming out here and being a part of the Great American Guaranteed $1 Million race. And what would you do with the million?
With the million, let me think about that for a minute. Probably buy me a new boat, I would guess. And I don't even know. I'd have to think about that. Put it in the bank, getting ready to retire. Maybe hang on to some of it. But anyway, I'm going to get back because Tennessee is beating Georgia down there, and I'm going to get back in. But when y'all get ready to have the R-rated version, I'll come back and tell some stories.
Well, I tell you what, as long as you don't see Jeff Sarah on your way down, you guys will get in a wrestling match over that because he'll tell you go dogs all day long. But Iron Mike Fuqua, Blake Fuqua, thank you for coming out and hanging out at the million. And what would your dad let you do if you won $1 million?
Well, I mean, what kind of question is that? I'm 19. It's my money technically, right? After that.
He's still standing in the doorway, so you probably should talk just a little quieter.
Well, I mean, I know my. I think that increases my tax bracket or something, right?
Right. It's just, at 19, that's not what you want. But
no, they don't teach us that in high school, so.
They probably did. You probably were just watching hockey on some live stream somewhere, but.
With $1 million, I don't even know, man. I guess pay off the rest of my trailer that I bought. Maybe sell it and buy another one. I don't know. Buy a. That's right. He always told me,
Sponsor Clay and Top Fuel.
I could sponsor Clay and Top.
2 runs out of that. 2 runs.
Yeah, get 2 runs. Maybe build like a shop house. Get ahead.
A house, a barn house. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about that.
Something like that. I think they're relatively cheap to build. So he says, compared to a house.
So $1 million, you're buying a house, another trailer, and whatever else Iron Mike said that we cannot repeat. Good luck, good luck this weekend, Blake. Thank you for letting me call you and say, hey, I need tires, or hey, I need tires like right now, and then hey, actually I don't need tires, but.
No problem, man. I hope you need a whole lot more tires.
Yeah, me too. That makes 2 of us. But it's awesome to see you out here competing with your dad. I know that does mean a lot to you, as much as you guys want to choke each other out sometimes, but you're going to lose every time. I hate to tell you. They don't fight fair when they're that age. So.
No, he always lets me know, as much of a man as you think you are, you're not, 'cause so I always keep that in mind. We have a really good relationship. We never, even at work, because we work together every day, we never fight or argue or anything. I think the worst thing we ever do is the other day, yesterday or whatever day we raced, I bumped it 3 red against McCarty. And I come back and he said, well, what happened? I said, I bumped it 3 red, and he wanted to rip the button out and tie it around my throat, I think. So, but
it's still up for debate. It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen, but since then I've zeroed it out, and it's now a bump up. It is no longer a bump down. So,
Clay, how does this sound? Iron Mike and Billet Aluminum Blake out here with us this weekend at Great American Bracket Race Series. Good luck the rest of the weekend. Thanks for coming out, and I'll let you know when I need some tires.
Thanks, man. Yeah, do it. See you guys. See you. Thank you.
With customer service and technical support second to none, FTI Performance Converters and Transmission give you the winning edge. Just ask any of our customers, like 2014 IHRA Top Dragster World Champion Kevin Brannon, or the 2014 IHRA Super Rod World Champion Mike Ruff. We are real racers with real experience. Call us today at toll-free at 866-726-8358 or visit us on the web at www.ftiperformance.com.
Just like that, we got to be on our feet. And a guy that is on his feet a lot, TJ Pruitt from Drag Coverage.
Wait,
Tuesday.
Can I take my jacket?
Yeah, there you go. Go right ahead. Yeah.
It's late watching.
That thing was looking a little tight there. Oh boy. What? Hold on, you ready?
You ready?
You ready?
Let's go.
Cheap shots are welcome. Go.
All right, I'll lose that.
All right. So we're talking about being on our feet. Tuesday, you were running around here mad. I know you were cooped up in the motorhome. You got here pretty early, but the $10,000 Burleson Construction Tuesday, Drag Coverage provided a lot of content for that because we didn't go live until Wednesday. But why do you do what you do?
Man, I'll tell you what. So I started Drag Coverage back in college. I was going to college, bored, and I said, you know what? I'm going to start a drag racing site just to give the local guy some exposure. You know, you hear about Clay Milligan all the time on NHRA.com and all these IHRA websites and all these big name drivers. But I said I wanted to start a site just for the local guy. And it all started with GAYLON ROLISON, actually, Bracket News, back in the Bracket News day, working for him. And it kind of gave me the idea. But since then, just kind of expanded. Giving that local guy the national coverage. You know, we still cover a lot of the NHRA stuff, but the main goal is to build a base that's big enough for the world to see, but give that local guy some exposure. So that keeps me going. Just seeing that local guy on that front page of drag coverage, just giving them that exposure. That keeps me going.
So I know it kind of goes hand in hand with the Great American Guaranteed Million. It's a very transparent event. Drag coverage is also very transparent. You are very open about how many people you reach. I know that you just amassed, over 100,000 likes on the drag coverage page or something like that?
Yeah, so, very proud of that. So we are one of the biggest drag racing websites on Instagram. We just reached 135,000.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my bad.
No, not
meet me outside.
135,000 followers on Instagram. We got 115,000 on Facebook. And we reach about, on average, 2 to 3 million people a month on Facebook alone. 2 to 3 million on average a month. So I'm very proud of that. But like I said, it starts here, you know, giving the local guys some exposure. And quite frankly, and I want to give a shout out now to Britt and GAYLON. This is really one of the first big bracket races I've covered back in the day. You remember the 25K showdowns? And that's where it started. You know, those just people don't know who I am, giving me those opportunities.
So you kind of have been going through a lot in life as you picked up your whole life and moved it to New Orleans for, haven't really figured out why yet, but you hate drag racing or something, but you took some time off, you recouped, you've got the Pro Charger back together and back in the dragster, and you've got the Monza somewhere in the corner stuffed away, but you're out here competing for $1 million this weekend on top of everything else that you do. How do you separate that once you put the helmet on?
You know, it's tough. You know, Iron Man was just mentioning how tough drag racing has gotten since he sat out. And I took a break for about 2 to 3 years, and I come back and I'm like him. You know, you're 20. Like last night, I was 4th round. I'm 20 dead 7, and decent lap at any track, and I'm still like 10th out behind. It's gotten tough, but it's hard to separate it. And the reason I did move to New Orleans, I'm close to the Cajuns. You know, I'm close to Britt and Slate. Plan on hanging with them.
You just called Britt Cajun. Oh boy.
Cajun life, Cajun territory. So my other half just started general surgery down.
That's why we got a Pro Charger. That makes more sense now. Okay.
She finished medical school, started general surgery, and she said, "Hey, do you want to move with me to New Orleans?" And I said, "What are you going to be again?" She said, "A doctor." I said, "You damn right." I'm moving. So all these big stackers and rigs, y'all are on notice now. Give me a few years. No, but
anybody got one for sale? Come see TJ.
No, but in all seriousness though, it's tough working, you know, full-time job and trying to promote, keep the website going and stuff. But you know, the rewards are greater than that.
I know that you do a lot for the drag racing community, and you really don't have a lot of reward for that other than somebody walking up and saying, "Man, thank you for showing my buddy over here from Atmore that he won the Winmore series." You know, it's something that you don't see very often, but you do that, and you do it pretty much alone.
Yeah, I do, and we all know this is it's very tough. It's a lot of work, a lot of work, and so I have very respect for those that have the courage and trust to hand something over to someone. But I do. It's pretty much a one-man show. I do have some help, but yes, it's pretty much a one-man show. A lot of hours during the day, get off from work and try to get that media going. But I think the most important thing that I've tried to focus on is being transparent. So respect to, Motor Mania TV. I've had the opportunity to work with them. They do a great, fantastic job. All those media sources, mad respect. Drag Race Results, Scott Lemon, have done a great job. I grew up, going on Drag Race Results forums. Competition Plus, Bobby Bennett. Bobby Bennett sat me down at a national event, NHRA. I was writing for Tim Tyndall, and writing an article. And he sat down and read it, and he said, "Son, what the heck are you doing?" It sounded like a child wrote this. And I said, "Man, I'm an engineer. I don't know how to write." But Bobby Bennett sat me down and taught me how to write. But all these media sources, you got Drag Champ just came out, do a fantastic job.
You ever heard of their podcast?
Yeah, I have.
I was just asking.
I've been invited. I mean,
hey, I don't do that. Not my circus.
I know. So, but all those media sources, Drag Illustrated, West Buck, I've had an opportunity. They do a great job. And this media sources gave me an opportunity to meet so many great people,
Whenever you got the behind-the-scenes look of what it actually takes to do something like this, what's the biggest thing that kind of caught you off guard? Like, maybe I didn't think of that as a racer, but as a racer now that has seen that, I appreciate it so much more.
You talking about from the media side?
Yeah, once you got the behind-the-scenes look, you get to come in the media center and you see all these decisions that have to be made that makes it seem like nothing hadn't come up in the staging lanes, but we're having hair on fire up here.
Yeah, so I've had the privilege to promote races myself, and it's so much planning that goes into these big events. So hats off to the promoters here, Britt and GAYLON, for just putting on an event. We just had the Night of Fire at Drag.
Yeah, we did.
Do a record event. I got to brag on that record event, Night of Fire, big crowd.
No free ads. Keep talking.
No free ads, but I can't imagine having to promote an event on this level, giving away $1 million. My purse is so small to this. So, yeah. So, but when you are in the media center like the NHRA events, there's so many decisions that you get to see that, from a spectator standpoint, you may not understand why. But being here, it says, "Oh, it makes sense." I never would have thought about that unless I'm here. So, respect to those. It's taught me to be understanding that a lot goes into these decisions.
A lot of those things that you were mad about, you were like, maybe I could have just, yeah. So before I turn this over to Clay, we're all about transparency. You said that, your event, you pay out a lot less. So in bicep standards, your biceps are like the guaranteed million and Slate's are like the Night Under Fire payout, right?
Man, I don't understand why. Okay, I'm going to be transparent for a minute. Let me give this mic for a minute. All right, let me finish first. Everyone walks around like Slate's so big. Okay, first of all, Slate is not big. Slate's arms are like 10 inches. I mean,
he wrestled Frank Cahotek last night.
Did he win?
Yeah, Frank's 60.
I heard about that, and I wasn't here. So we've got to settle this tonight on the live feed. So Mark, you going to be here? I want to get this live.
They will not do that. I can promise you.
Okay, we will put it on Drag Coverage Facebook Live. No, no promises, but yeah.
I'll stream it. I got it. Give me that.
Because
so
we're going to get into this whole thing, this where you wanted to arm wrestle me right here. Nobody knew what that was about.
I'm trying to show off and look good, okay.
So I'm here the other night, and here comes this big guy right here, and he said, "Just want to let you know that I immediately do all I can to steal your viewers off of your Facebook Live." And I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm just going to tell the truth. Like, I'm making a beeline to Slate. I'm like, what else is this guy fixing to say to me, And then the first thing is, and he comes right on over, and I got Slate on one side and him on the other, and he's like, who got the bigger arms? I'm like, man, I want to move behind Slate, I'm like, man, you just jumped right on me there the other night. And I tell you what, though, the stuff that you do is pretty dang amazing. I follow you on Twitter. I do all those things, and you can steal my viewers off Facebook Live anytime you want. But, you asked me, you said, well, when you going to let me come on there? And I'm like, well, you got to ask Britt about that. I told Britt's my booking agent, but the Night of Fire, the Night of Fire that you do, I mean, that's got to give you some appreciation for what Britt and GAYLON have done for many, many years now. But what has been for you having, did the night of fire, what for you has been like the most amazing part of coming in here, rolling into Memphis, and what's happening here?
I think the most amazing part is rolling in the gate and knowing that you're competing against the best of the best. There is not one racer that I know of that I can think of that's not here. So that tells you the amount of time and work that Britt and GAYLON that's put into this show to get the best of the best here. So, I grew up on the small stage, Atmore Dragway. We mentioned Atmore Dragway. Gulfport Dragway, King of the Coast. Wade White sitting here, he's ran those series. And so coming from a small, I still consider myself a small guy, small town guy, small local racer.
Slate said you was a small guy too.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll talk about that later. I'll handle that with Slate. But rolling in the gate and knowing that you're competing against the best and rolling in the water box, I just encourage anyone that has, from a local guy like myself, just to have that opportunity to roll in the water box. It's just an incredible feeling that you can't describe. When you look over, you're competing against the best of the best, and you're live on Motor Mania TV. I mean, it gets you going. It really gets your adrenaline going. So it's quite the experience that I can't even put into words.
So just going to ask you, now I'm not going to put you on the spot like I did Bill Herman from Alliance Racewear the other day of asking you who you think would win, but who are some of your heroes out here? Like, who are the guys it's like, oh man, that guy's awesome, whether it's the Troys and Garys, the Scotties, the Edmonds, like who is kind of as you've watched these big money races, like, man, that's the guy, I like that guy?
I feel like everyone has their definition of what a hero is. My definition of what a hero is completely different than a lot. I feel like to be a hero, it's great to turn on a win light, but how you carry yourself off the track is what I consider a hero. But if I have to put in names who I think my heroes are, it has to be people that, when I was that small town guy, before drag coverage even was anything, I can think of just different racers I've walked up to and say, excuse me, sir, can I get some advice on drag racing? And I never will forget this. Well, first of all, I got to thank Brandon Taylor, who gave me the opportunity to race on the big stage first. But from a big money standpoint, the names that come to me are Jason Lynch. Jason Lynch didn't know me from Adam's apple, and I went and asked him for some advice on drag racing. Jason Lynch, AJ Ash, Troy Williams Jr., just to name a few. Took the time out, and they're not going to, you would think they're the best of the best. They're not going to give you their secrets. And they were as transparent as they could possibly be. And those, still to this day, I use a lot of those techniques to help me in racing.
That's awesome.
So those are my heroes.
I appreciate that. I mean, you certainly named off some pretty good hitters there, And then one of my heroes, he claims to be washed up, but I still think he's my hero, and that's old Britt over there, the chosen one, the other one. Yeah, however you want to put it. That's amongst the big boys that I'm not getting in that argument on. But
I got to agree with you, and I've mentioned it earlier, and I've got to thank GAYLON for giving me that first opportunity to do media, and Britt, and for giving me that first opportunity to cover big races. So that's where it starts. When you talk about off the track heroes, Britt and GAYLON.
Oh, I'm still talking about on the track because I'm kind of going to jump. I was fixing to say, I'm still talking about on the track a little bit. Slate certainly runs the freak show at the far end of the racetrack, but I'm hoping, and it probably is no way it's going to happen now, but I was kind of headed down the path of I was hoping we'd kind of finalize that best 2 out of 3 between him and Johnny Bracken Racer here this weekend.
Oh man, that would be great. And I'm glad you mentioned that, though. I've got to give a shout out to this new generation. Clay, how does it feel to come out here? And Jake, I ask you the same question. How does it feel to come out here and this young generation of racers? They can be possibly anywhere, and they're out here winning races. They're out here on the drag strip every weekend. Your Johnny Ezels, your Hunter Paddens, your Galettis. I mean, it's a great feeling, to see them out here.
Well, I mean, we just had a perfect example. Blake there, he's like, Daddy was 20 and one above. That was nothing to him, but old guy like me, that's how you used to win.
Yeah, no, it's getting even tougher. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, you've been gone a while. I've been here doing the same thing, and it doesn't get any easier, I hate to tell you. But obviously, we appreciate everything Drag Coverage does. I know that you poured your heart and soul and continue to do it day in and day out into what you do and the product you provide. And I know it's not easy. I thank you. I know everybody else here is very grateful of everything that you do, especially running around on your cell phone and live streaming Tuesday night. And that was definitely something that was a little bit different. And
It's stealing my viewers.
it's stealing Clay's viewers. And really, Mark and Joanne do an incredible job of streaming these races. And if we had the resources and the funds and everything, and we could put a camera that's just free floating around through here, that would be pretty awesome too, just like your Facebook Live did. But, you know, it's ever changing. You never know what could happen. And I know Mark's always got ideas down the pipe, but your Facebook Live Tuesday night was pretty special because you stood where you could hear a whole lot of race car, you could hear an announcer, and you did a little commentating. You want to come up here and announce some runs with me?
Oh, man, I used to announce back in the day, but yeah, we try to bring it from a different...
Times have changed, that's all right.
That's right, but no, we try to bring it from a different perspective here at Drag Coverage. You know, about 2 years ago, I wanted to bring it, I said, you know, we've got these great sites out here. Let's bring things from a different perspective, and that's kind of what we wanted to do here on the starting line. You know, Motor Branding TV's been covering a great job covering it all week, but just wanted to give the viewers something to see from the starting line, which was the Ghost Race was a great idea, by the way. I thought it was awesome, especially to hear Burleson's packages after the Ghost Race. If you haven't seen that, by the way, Burleson is the man. So the Ghost Race, I think he and Chris Galletti split in the finals, but just wanted to bring it from a different perspective. So shout out to you, Clay, Jake, what you guys do with the media. If you haven't seen your commercial, if you haven't seen Clay's show, pretty cool, and enjoy hearing you on the podcast.
Thanks, buddy, and good luck this weekend. That thing is really, really nice, and you should go polish on it some more after this rain quits.
I definitely will. So if I had the opportunity to win $1 million, and I'll get off the mic, because y'all know.
Oh yeah, if you won the $1 million, yeah, if you won, well, hold on a minute,
I got it.
There is a little bit of backstory to this. You know, I'm ready to get this over with because I want you to get just real close, and then think your interview's gonna end, and it's in just a little early because I share a lot of stuff and tag Drag Coverage in it, and never does it ever get shared. So I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, we're Team Next Gen together. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just letting you know.
Please don't give up on
Oh, okay, all right.
Now I'm gonna purposely share.
So, TJ, if you won the guaranteed $1 million race with your 20 dead 7 lap, what would you do with the money?
First of all, 20 dead 7 is probably not going to go past third round unless I was racing against Britt. But, so just bought a house in New Orleans. It's probably the most expensive place I've ever lived in my life. Oh my, it's probably paying all that debt off. But yeah, so pay off some debt.
Hey, it would go a long way if you paid off her school bills, buddy. I promise you.
Oh, probably half of it.
So TJ Pruitt from Drag Coverage, best of luck this weekend, and I hope you figure out a system to get the dog outside to use the bathroom while it's raining, because I know you don't like getting wet. I know you're a little pretty boy, and you're out there working out in the motorhome, don't have time to get the dog outside.
Hey, first of all, bad idea bringing a dog to a drag strip. Second of all, he's learned where to go pee and where the motorhome is. So very smart golden retriever. So if y'all get an opportunity, come by and meet Bo. Bo, the Drag Coverage track dog, here on the front row. So thank you.
Perfect. TJ, good luck. Have a good time. And, ow.
Some people just think parts is parts, but not us. Because we know when you order any of the over 1 million parts at jegs.com, you get the whole company. Expert advice, day or night, from the pros who know how to make you go. From now on, get your parts and your smarts only at jegs.com. Selection, service, and sweet satisfaction. That is jegs.com.
LARIS Motorsports Insurance, 4 generations in the insurance business and over 30 years in motorsports, offering package policy for all your valuable racing equipment, on the road or at the track. Be a winner with LARIS Motorsports Insurance. Go to Facebook today. Get a quote from LARIS Motorsports Insurance.
The oyster farmer that we always allude to out of Mississippi. I actually got to see the video of how you guys set the lake, I guess, pond lake. It's a real big lake, right? And you guys just have a section of it that's yours, or maybe you might own it by now. But the way you got, for one, I would never, ever in my life get on a boat like that, okay? Because at any minute, it's full of stone, isn't it? It's full of stone, and I feel like a pontoon-looking boat full of stone in the middle of the water. That's why you got guys for that, right? You're over there on the jumbo. Yeah, I over there.
Yeah, I stay on the small boat where I'm safe. That way it doesn't go under the water.
Yeah, the small boat, yeah. The other one, it looks like it's got a cannon that just sprays rocks, and I guess that's how oysters are farmed. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure anybody at Motor Mania Livestream wants to know about it, but how did you start farming oysters in drag race?
Well, actually, I did it all my life when my dad was in the business. So he started off doing it, and I just took over after he died, and it's just bloomed since we started. And then I got to go to drag races and got hooked. First time I went down the track, I said, I got to do this. And I've been doing it for 30 years now.
Price of oysters went up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to produce them and push them all at the same time.
Absolutely. So I know that you've had a pretty good year at this point. You've won $100,000 so far this year at Byron, Illinois, and then you kind of went downhill a little bit. You had some parts failures, and then we get to the race in Martin, Michigan, and your motorhome breaks, the generator breaks, the hitch is breaking, all that 100 you won the week before, you're spinning it. But is there ever a time that you go through this and you want to be back home at work?
Never. A day at the races is better than any day at home at work.
Absolutely, and I know that you guys travel the country together, and I know that she's got to get tired of you sometimes, because there's times I walked out in front of the motorhome and she's just sitting there reading a book. I'm like, man, this is her minute of peace. I got to give her that, because I know you got to be a handful sometimes. But
she gives me 10 minutes every time I lose. If I lose a round, she doesn't come around me for 10 minutes. She stays the race. After the first time, I think I threw a radio or something off the shelf, and I was mad because I had given it back by a thou. And she says, can I come around you now and talk to you? I said, yeah, what's the matter? You need to learn to calm down just a little bit.
I was listening to a podcast, and I think it was Luke Bogacki was talking, and he said that, he was taught how to lose first. Throwing a radio makes you feel pretty good, though, after you lose it. Just something else to take your anger out on.
Yeah, I guess, throwing the radio away, I didn't have to hear the run over and over and over again, so I just got rid of it, and it's just one of those things. I don't think any racer loves to lose. But when you lose by so much, or if you lose on your own and you give
self-inflicted is the hardest.
Yeah, well, it's a self-inflicted wound that hurts worse.
Yeah, but you had an incident Tuesday, right? I haven't seen a hood scoop fly off a dragster since Craig Sullivan raced Top Dragster. Okay, that's been a while, and we're out here on Tuesday for a time run, and it shakes the scoop off in the water box. And we back over it. We couldn't stop you fast enough. Like 3 pairs later, Bailey Ferraro's going down the racetrack and Bug McCarty's dragster, and the scoop flies off at 500 feet. And I mean, it's just part of it. But you ever sit back and just think, what's next?
Oh, all the time.
Me too.
I guess it was National Scoop Day or something. I don't know. But yeah, I put the scoop on, and then I think Tramp Stewart told me, look, make sure you bolt it down. And I got ready, and I put the zoot screws in my hand, and all of a sudden something else caught my attention and forgot about it. So I go out there, make a burnout, and I feel my car bump. I said, man, my transmission done fell out this car. So they come up there, and track worker says, we can't get the scoop out your car. It's underneath the car. It's smashed. So I look at him, and I looked on the other side of the other one. I said, look, just get out of my way. I'll get the scoop out of my car. So I dropped it in low and ran over it again and pulled off. And actually, the scoop's still sitting in my trailer. It looks like it's brand new. It's just got a few cracks on it. You never know. I ran over it twice.
So that's kind of what pays off. You have 2 immaculate race cars in your trailer that you can roll out and be competitive at any time with them. You just rob the scoop off the other car, right?
That's exactly what I did. I grabbed the scoop off the other car, put another number on it, put it to the track.
That's exactly what Bailey did. He just took the scoop off Carol's car and put it on Bug's car. So he had a pretty blue, white, red dragster with a purple and yellow hood scoop.
Well, that was good about Dan. I buy my cars from Danny. He supplies Danny Nelson, and I called Danny up. I said, I had a little accident with my scoop. I need another scoop here. He said, I'll have you one there tomorrow. And next day, we had another scoop there and put another scoop on the car.
Absolutely. So Clay and I have got to walk around, as now they've been aired on Motor Mania TV. We interviewed a bunch of guys and girls that sponsor this event, and we had some really cool answers about what they would do with $1 million if they won it. And I feel like your answer could have potential to be pretty cool.
I think I've always wanted to swim with white sharks. So I think we might take a trip in a cage.
What are you drinking down there in Mississippi? Swim with, you want to be in the cage, swimming with white sharks?
I don't want to be out in the open. I want to be in a cage, but that's a dream of mine. So I think we'll make a trip.
You've seen Shark Week, right? They can destroy a cage, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, but I'm going to make sure the cage, with $1 million, I'll have a strong cage.
Absolutely. And one more thing, like, you've won a lot of races, right? With King of the Coast and stuff. That's your wheelhouse, really. That's where you and AJ's honey hole,
Okay.
right? You and AJ Ash's honey hole. But in all reality, this is a race that pays $1 million. It's not far. I mean, in comparison to everywhere else that we see a bracket race, and this isn't too far from the front door. But would you go home after this?
Yeah, it would probably take me a couple of months, but I'd probably get back home. We just enjoy racing so much. It's like a big family. It's like in a family outing. I mean, in this world today, there's not many places you can go and compete against other people that'll come up and help you if you break something, knowing you may beat them the next round. And then, you just can't go anywhere and get that feeling. So we just love to live at the races.
Clay, I know you'll get this reference. I often think of Wade White every time I look at him as the Jerry Savoy of bracket racing. Just the crazy off the wall. He doesn't care. We're going to go fast and we're going to go win a whole bunch of races, whatever it costs, whatever it takes to get there. He's going to be there participating. And I know you have a lot of companies that help you out. So I'll give you this moment, because I know you changed shirts just to come up here, because after you won $100,000, you stopped by the Hoosier Racing Tires headquarters, and they had an awesome photo opportunity, and obviously you got to put your car on display, and they took care of you as they normally do. But who helps you go down the racetrack and get here and get home, other than obviously the most important one?
Oh, actually, it comes mostly out of my pocket and my company, but she probably does the most out of everyone. She keeps me straight online, other than the driving. I let her drive one time, and she started hitting them little bumps off the road, and I couldn't relax after that, so I took over the wheel again.
She probably did it on purpose.
I believe so. We took a trip just now. Actually, I was talking to Clay yesterday about a restaurant, so we went up the highway and got lost. We looked for your restaurant and couldn't find it, so we turned around and come back.
So I got to tell the truth. I did not know that you sold oysters, and we did. We had a good 30-minute conversation. They asked me, like, where could go eat, and the subject of oysters come up, and I'm like, no, I'm out. And Britt's over giggling because he knows, and I told y'all, I'm a steak and taters guy, and the only way I'm eat oysters is if they're out of a can. And both of y'all rolled your eyes, and now it makes more sense why you rolled your eyes. But you said you knew how to fix them and make them really, really good, so I might have to try that out.
Oh, I'm going to change you, believe me.
Unpopular opinion, I've never tried an oyster.
Well, I guess both of y'all are going to have to come to the camp.
Is that what I got to say?
That's all you got to say. But yeah, once we fix him, you'll be a lover.
Well, I'll have to definitely get that checked out.
You know the old saying, you eat oysters, you love longer.
I've heard that, but I still had never, I'm like, no, I'm still out.
How do we say that in Mississippi? So I want to pronounce it the right way tomorrow. Eat what?
Eat oysters, love longer.
Oysters. All right,
Oysters.
I got it. I'm from the north. I'm a Yankee. I don't have none of that talk down here.
Oh, well, that's normal talk for us down that way.
It sounds normal to me.
Wait till TJ stays down there for about 10 years. He'll change.
Well, I tell you what, I really enjoyed and that's kind of what I've been really enjoying this weekend, is just hanging out. I mean, we sat down there and talked for the longest time, and I hate you couldn't find Wells' Kitchen. That's what I was talking about, Wells' Kitchen.
And we were looking for it. We couldn't find it. I guess it was raining. We couldn't see it or whatever. We went down. I said, now, Clay said it was only 20 minutes, and we drove 45 minutes.
Well, it's a block building, and you would have missed it if you blinked your eyes. So
we missed it. I must have been blinking.
It makes me think, again, back to this food thing, since we had that conversation. I told you, I go and stay at Britt's house when I'm on the road. I'll just pull in his driveway, park, and sleep. And he got me and Donna, and he's like, come on, I'm going to take y'all to eat. And he just kept telling me, he slid something in front of me, like, don't ask, just eat. And I still don't want to know what I was eating.
Well, that's the golden rule. Just eat and see how it tastes. Don't ask what it is. You'll never know what you're eating.
Well, especially
from down home.
Exactly,
Right.
Exactly.
Britt, obviously, he's like, well, they're Cajun. It could be possum, it could be rat, it could be squirrel, and it could be steak. But it doesn't matter. They know how to cook down there, right?
It's just the way it tastes. That's all it is.
So if you win $1 million, are we going to have a big cookout and have a whole bunch of oysters for everybody here? Well, how many oysters can we get for $1 million?
We can fill your belly up.
Everybody here a couple times over, huh?
Yeah, by the time we finish, everyone's going to love oysters.
Yeah, there you go. Wade White, it is awesome to have you. I've given everybody else $1 million here. Here's your, here, you put it with your other ones. Have a good time. Have a good time out here the rest of the week, and it is an honor to have you here. I know that you're a pretty quiet guy whenever you're in the staging lanes, but you're really just on a mission out here. You have fun doing this, but you can turn it on with the best of them.
You need to be able to turn it off and on to race here. I mean, if you stay locked up the whole day, you'll go crazy.
You got a guy that can fix a broken switch because mine's stuck in off. So, Wade, congratulations on your year so far, and I know you're not done yet. Good luck the rest of the weekend, and go cook some oysters.
Okay, thank you.
With customer service and technical support second to none, FTI Performance Converters and Transmission give you the winning edge. Just ask any of our customers, like 2014 IHRA Top Dragster World Champion Kevin Brannon, or the 2014 IHRA Super Rod World Champion Mike Ruff. We are real racers with real experience. Call us today at toll-free at 866-726-8358, or visit us on the web at www.ftiperformance.com.
It's seen on Motor Mania TV a lot, and I've seen a lot of those Tennessee area names pop up on the screen that I really haven't heard of before, but give me one quiet pick.
Well, I don't know that it's a quiet pick, and I can't say just one, and I'm just being honest. I'm not really dead set on one, but you got to remember, you've got the original million winner here,
TJ Tracy.
TJ Tracy, and there's this old dude that can tell you about every run he ever made, how much he took, what he did, everything about it.
Danny Bastianelli's not here.
Buddy Farrell.
But yeah, listen, I got a Buddy Farrell story from Holly Springs at Britt and Gaylon's race. I had never met Buddy Farrell, and I am the racer that get caught up in judgmental sometimes, right? Buddy's been doing this a long time, and I'm not saying Buddy's old. Buddy's well seasoned, and I'm like, everybody talks about Buddy Farrell. I'm like, okay, that's Buddy Farrell. All right, I'm gonna lay down team total, and he rolls up on me at 3:30 looking like a truck driver just over here, and his whole car is going like this. Yep. And his wind light comes on, and he's like one above, and I'm dead on. I'm like, huh, that's Buddy Farrell. Okay, yeah, okay. At that point in time, I stopped trying to judge my opponents because just judging myself is probably better off.
I tell you what, he's an unbelievable racer, and you're right. Even in the staging lanes, he don't hop out of his dragster much as he used to, but he will still whoop your tail. Quick Buddy Farrell story. So I was doing a TV show. It was kind of a TV show that was a pilot we were doing, and they aired like 8 or 10 of these episodes, but it was a show called Blow It Up. And kind of the thing was how much punishment can your car take? So I invited Buddy to come out right here in the right lane. He's in his Camaro. It's got a 427. He can tell you all about it. I made him do a burnout, and he's just laughing sitting in there because he had done told me, you're not going to tear my car up. And the motor had already made, I want to say it had over 800 runs on it at the time.
I can get 80 out of mine.
I'm not kidding you. 800 runs, I'm pretty sure is what he told me. And he did a burnout till the tires blew out on it. And he just laughed about it. He already had another set of tires ready because I said, well, why'd you already have tires up here? He said, because I knew this car wasn't going to quit, and that's what you got to have to win these races. And he's done it for years. He's a bad dude.
So I was driving Charlie Lockhart's Monza, another Buddy Farrell story, just a few weeks ago in Holly Springs. And Clay, you don't probably know this about my racing side, but I don't have very good luck. All right.
I've listened to enough podcasts.
Like they talk about
trailer tire luck,
or trailer tire luck or trailer axle luck. Yeah. Like I've even dubbed Brake from State Farm now, so which is now Brake from LARIS Motorsports Insurance. But I was in Charlie's Monza in the water box, and I get in there and I do a burnout, and I open the door handle and it's flopping. I'm like, And I look up and there is a cloud of smoke going down the racetrack. I'm like, I'm on the starting line in a black Monza. It's 152 degrees outside, and the door handle's broke. But the door handle is the one you reach through the window and pull. So there's not one on the outside that you can pull. I called Charlie and I said, hey, Buddy just blew the Camaro up in front of me. I'm on the starting line and I'm stuck. He says, what do you mean? I said, I'm stuck. I can't get out the car. He rolls up on the scooter and he says, well, how you gonna get out? So somehow I got my hand in between the door panel and down the window crack, and that cut me all up. But Buddy was there the next day, no time run, a brand new, not a brand new, but an engine out of the shop, no time run, dialed up a couple of tenths, wind light comes on. Buddy Farrell. Definitely a good pick here at the Great American Guaranteed Million, brought to you by Scott and Dickey Performance Center Race Shop and Chevrolet Performance. I don't know if Joanne's ready in the truck yet, but we are in the Pro 1 Pit Report. We're going to throw it up to the Jumbotron. Right? We can do that. The LARIS Motorsports Insurance Jumbotron out here. It's not up. Hey, we got to sound like it's running, okay? Yeah. It is still misting outside, unfortunately. It's kind of what we got to deal with, but we are going through here, and we have plenty of spots that we worked our tail off on this week. Thankfully, Mark turned me loose with the camera. It's a job that I do quite frequently with him, and we work drag week and stuff together, and you did awesome. I know you aren't too comfortable. Yeah. You're like, hey, who am I talking to? But it didn't matter, right? It's Clay Milligan's friend. It's Clay Milligan's friend.
Yeah, racers are racers, that's for sure.
But we got a couple of those for you on MotorManiaTV.com. Thank you to Jegs.com, FTI Performance, LARIS Motorsports Insurance. We'll be back here in the tower for the Pro 1 Pit Report after I go find something to do.
All right, I'm here with Alan with Scoggins Dickens Performance Center Race Shop. You're here hanging out at the Guaranteed Million, and you guys jumped in with both feet. Tell us about this awesome contest you got going here at the Great American Million.
We just got with Britt and GAYLON. You know, they're excellent promoters. It's a good team with us and them, and we decided we were going to raffle off an engine. So we did a 582 Headhunter, made 1,066 on the dyno, and it's going to make somebody a very nice piece.
So how does the winner come about?
Everybody that entered into the Guaranteed Million has got an entry in this raffle box over here, and Britt or GAYLON or somebody's going to draw a winning name out of it.
So 582 Headhunter, 1,060 horsepower. Kind of what parts are involved in that?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of vendors that we got to thank that helped, pitch in with this deal. Dart Machinery with the block, Brodex with the heads, Rosso with the oil pan, Manley with a set of rods. Just a lot of vendors jumped in. If you don't think the vendors are out there for sportsman drag racing, you are wrong, because them guys are, these companies back what we do.
Another awesome sponsor of the Great American Guaranteed Million, 1,000 horsepower engine going to be given away. Random drawing, Scoggins Dickey Performance Center Race Shop. Awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Some people just think parts is parts, but not us. Because we know when you order any of the over 1 million parts at jegs.com, you get the whole company. Expert advice, day or night, from the pros who know how to make you go. From now on, get your parts and your smarts only at jegs.com. Selection, service, and sweet satisfaction. That is jegs.com.
So I'm here with Jim from Weldon Performance out here at the Great American Guaranteed Million. So Jim, what brings you out here?
Well, 700 cars. Well, maybe. I don't know that they held it to 700, but geez, there's a lot of cars here. This is crazy. It's just been, let's see, I got here at 6:30 this morning, fill up my water cans, and they were just going right after that. It's crazy. This is, you like drag racing, this is it. But these guys they're nuts, and it's great.
So obviously a lot of cars coming out, fits right along with your business. Tell us a little bit about probably your best-selling product out here in the bracket world.
What we've got is basically a carbureted fuel pump to support most of these motors that are on either alcohol or gasoline. Support either 2,000 or 3,000 horsepower. It's an exceptional product. Basically, it's all made here in the States. And there's a lot of guys that are out here running it, and it's working rather well.
So Britt and GAYLON, who run the Great American Bracket Series, did it take much thought on your part to want to get involved with their series?
Oh, no, I've been working with Britt and GAYLON for a couple races here. The Cummins brothers, they do a great job in everything that they do. They run my product on all their stock, super stock stuff, set records, won divisions, won national events, won championships. So it's a perfect fit for me. So I just said, sure, I'm in.
And folks, there you have it. Jim from Weldon Performance right here at the Great American Guaranteed Million.
LARIS Motorsports Insurance, 4 generations in the insurance business and over 30 years in motorsports, offering package policy for all your valuable racing equipment, on the road or at the track. Be a winner with LARIS Motorsports Insurance. Go to Facebook today. Get a quote from LARIS Motorsports Insurance.
Are we good? Okay.
Coming to you. She can see this camera.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta be on camera.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was an audio thing.
No, no.
I'd have got dressed up.
We're live. How about that? We didn't know we were ready, but we are ready now. You really don't need any introduction, but the guy that is the sole proprietor of This Is Bracket Racing Elite, the one-half partnership of Sportsman Drag Racing Podcast with Luke and Jed. Cool hand, former $1 million race winner, former national champion, former, yes, Saluki fan. That's number one right now on the hat. Luke, you're out here for $1 million, and as you said, doing wheelies this weekend, and you about got them for like 40 or 80 or I don't even know what race that was because it all blended together.
I made really good runs till I didn't. Yeah, no, I think I heard Mike saying this earlier when I was messing around in the trailer, but never in a million years would I thought that we'd be here. Even a year ago, like I didn't really think it was realistic that we'd race for a true $1 million. And this one's been circled on the calendar, man. I've been fired up about this for a long time. I can't wait to get out there and do it.
You said at the podcast, this is kind of your wheelhouse, or 450 entry max. You don't really care for the 700-800 car races, and that's just a preference. And that's not a slander, but this is your wheelhouse. 450 cars. You can race door cars all you want. You can race a dragster if you feel like you have to. But I don't think that you come in here with anything but a chin held really high.
It's the old man's wheelhouse. Like 450 cars, we're not going to race till 2, 3 in the morning typically, right? And so it puts things back where I feel like I can do it. I think it becomes a young man's game when you really stretch it out in those marathon races. I enjoy the format more. I like the way that they've done everything with this from the word go, and having kids at the track especially. Like I like to be done at a decent hour because they're getting up early no matter what we do.
Yeah, I've seen Gary has picked out his watching spot this weekend. I've seen you a couple of times over there as I went back and forth to Motor Mania's headquarters down there. But Luke 10 years ago is not the Luke today. And what is it like going racing with Gary? And I'm forgetting because I haven't been around much. Jack, that's right. Gary and Jack here. Of course, Gary is always very passionate about your wind light coming on as he's riding his bike in the rain through there. But on cue, yeah. Gary's like, I'll show them. Yeah, this is where the finish line's at, Dad. but 10 years ago, you're okay with a 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning race, but priorities have really taken over in life for you. I know you're starting the house building process, and where has it brought you mentally as it comes into a race like this?
Yeah, I was more than okay with it. I welcomed that stuff. I felt like I'd derive it in my head somewhere enough where that seemed like an advantage. But no, I went to Bristol last week with intentions of just showing up for the million. I ended up running the last 30 grander, but I went by myself. It's kind of a last second decision. And I told Jess when I come home, I'm like, that was a little bit more peaceful, but it wasn't near as fun. Like I really enjoy going with the family. It brings a whole different element to it, and watching the kids grow up the same way I did basically at the racetrack, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and you kind of restarted your whole racing program. You got the National Championship Super Gas car. It was moved down the line, and you got a beautiful Corvette Roadster to go along with your beautiful Vega. And Jessica obviously was driving really well the other night. She made a lot of decisions that Jessica has also evolved her game with. This is Bracket Racing Elite. It's something that growing up and coming to I-57 drag strip where you guys just come hang out on a Saturday night and take all of our money. But Jessica was at this standard point and shoot, right, whenever you first met her. And Jessica right now will absolutely drop you on your head if you need drop.
Yeah, the odds of her holding it on the floor are not real good. She does really good, and it's been fun to watch her progress too, for sure.
I feel like finish line focus is a lot of things that, you know, you guys harp on. She's got a lot of that right now. And as we had a bold prediction, finish line focus would work really well tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. I just like her attitude about it. We were at Bowling Green for the 310 Granders back a couple of months ago. And normally all I get involved with her racing is I tell her what I think she can go, right? And then I just stay out of the way and let her do what she wants to do. So we were both in fairly late, like 4th or 5th round, and enough that when I got back to the trailer, she was already in the lane. So I hauled up there on the scooter and was like, hey, it's a little bit cooler. I think you can go like 467.2. She goes, okay. And I go to ride off, and I look at the dial board. I go, hey, I actually thought she like missed a number or something and put it on there. I said, hey, you know you got 472 on the dial board, right? And she goes, yeah. And she just looks at me, and I guess I got this stupid look on my face. She goes, it's been working, all right. I'm like, all right, have at it, girl. Yeah, you guys really took over. Britt's going to take credit for that. But yeah, she's got an attitude about it. I guess it's all the 890 racing's rubbed off on her. But yeah, she'll hold a little bit.
I know that a couple of years ago you made a valiant swing at a Super Comp World Championship again because you were in a pretty good seat, and it obviously didn't fall your way. But where does that rank on the list of aspirations of doing that again? I know that family is important, and it takes a lot of family time to go on the road and chase a national championship. Is that why we're just going to do wheelies for $1 million?
Wheelies are more fun. Wheelies and burnouts. I wouldn't rule it out. It'd be one of those things like we would have to start a season really hot and then go, okay, well, you know, we got a shot at this. Like, I would love to do it again, but I don't think I don't see any time in the near future, like, setting out, starting the season, like, I'm going to go chase the World Championship this year. If things fell into place, we might make another run at it, though, yeah.
You mean start off real hot at Bowling Green and Indy and something like that, maybe?
That's about the way it went a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Not just recency bias. That's all I remember.
It made its way all the way to Idaho.
Yeah, Utah. Yeah, Utah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. The bad part when Tyler Bohannon laid like 2 total on me at 5 cars at Bowling Green that year, and I went and shook his hand and said, "Hey man, thank you." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, you just saved me from like I had crazy aspirations. I was going to go to Utah or something, and I woke up the next morning and was like, I could still win it. Let's go to Utah." So,
it ain't over till it's over. But you've done a lot in drag racing, not only on the racetrack but off the racetrack. Where do you want to end up? Where do you want Luke Bogaki's name? Not only, of course, we want it at the top, right? We want to win all of the things that are to win. Like Scotty just checked off the last thing he needed to check off. But you have the potential. You have a business as well in this sport, and it's got some weight, and I think it can carry it quite a long time.
I try not to think too much in those terms, or I have a hard time maybe thinking in those terms. Like, I don't know when you say legacy or something like that. Like, I still feel like a kid out here. And
you've got a legacy, Luke. Come on.
I just try to take every day for what it is and go have fun, and then, you know, on the website end, and really even here at the racetrack, the opportunity to pass some of it on and help people get where they want to go in the sport, and feel like in some small fashion we're improving the sport along as we go. That's cool. Like, that's what it's all about for me.
Yep, and I know that having Jessica and Gary and Jack here, we're going to see shoots out for Gary for $1 million.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
You stole my question.
Before I steal any more, I'll let Clay take over. Hold on. Okay.
I mean, I hope so, because that would mean that Jess is winning $1 million. I got no shoot on the Vega. I don't know what we'd have to come up with something different. I mean, I could come back and do a burnout facing the wrong direction or something cool, but no shoots.
We got to think of something before then. But no, as the podcast stated, Jed made a bold prediction that a woman would win this, and there's a few entered here that are very capable. I think we're going to talk to one later today, but I'll let the professionals do their thing. You and Clay have been doing this for a long time, and I know that you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Well, I tell you what, we definitely, you just pretty much called us old. That's what he just did.
We've been around a while, Clay.
Yeah, we have. And I got to tell you, so today, come rolling in, it is absolute pouring down rain. And I rolled by your motorhome over there, and it was raining hard enough I couldn't tell if it was Hot Wheel tracks or whatever it is, orange. It looked like orange-colored Hot Wheel tracks, and that just made me smile. And I was telling Donna last night when I got home, I'm like, man, I rode by to see Luke, and I said, all I saw was Jessica and the little ones, but you got a picnic table set up out there, which I noticed you had it put away during the rain. I commend you on that. I would have never put it up, but it's got to be a lot of fun, having the opportunity to go with the little ones and do all that stuff. I didn't do that as much as I should have, and I think it's really cool that you are. So, I mean, are you hoping, somewhere, and I'm not saying you will push them in any way, but are you hoping that the kids will, be ready to hop in juniors as soon as the time comes?
Yes and no. Like, Gary's chomping at the bit. We've told him since day one that he's got to be 8. He's down here looking at me like, Daddy, now I know you've been lying to me. He met up with some girls when we were at Mid-Michigan for the 50-grander this year. I was real proud of him. He walked down and introduced himself to these people we'd never met. Well, they played for about 8 hours, and he come back and mad. Daddy, that girl, I forget her name, Shannun's down there. She's 7 like me. She's got a junior dragster. And I argued with her. I said, you're not old enough to have a junior dragster. And I'm like, oh, we've been leading you astray a little bit there, Gary. But no, I've been telling him he needs to be 8. Gary's looking up at us from down near the starting line. But no, he's chomping at the bit. He's been saving up his money. I've been telling him I'd match him dollar for dollar. So yeah, I think we're gonna head that direction. But kind of to your point, Clay, like I'm real wary of trying to steer him into anything just because it's what I want him to do. But I'll support him in whatever it's been. I've been coaching his basketball team, so we've had fun with that. Jess gives me a hard time. For him, it's all either racing or basketball. I don't know where he gets that from, but yeah, he's having fun.
That's really awesome. So for years, you've written columns, and then, you and Jed started doing the podcast, which you obviously, I listen every week. I don't miss a one. Every now and then, I'll even send you a text when I say, I think maybe you said something wrong, maybe, or an idea from time to time. And I think you guys have done a great job with that. Did you ever have any idea that thing would grow to where it's at right now?
No, and I mean, it's fun. That's the reason that we keep doing it. Like, there's Jake probably knows there's not really any money in podcasting, but it is a blast.
Look like this.
Yeah.
What you get.
So,
congratulations, you have a podcast.
But it's cool to kind of have your platform and have your voice heard, and that's what we wanted to do with it. And I think I probably would have lost interest now if it wasn't for doing it with Jed. As you could attest, he just makes every one of them fun. So it's a really enjoyable deal.
So we've kind of, while you've done it at the highest level there is, in the sportsman racing, and I've done this crazy thing trying to be a professional racer. You got any stories of, at some point, and I've got plenty of them, like, man, this is the end of the road. I'm out of dollars, I'm out of credit cards, they're all full. Have you ever had one of those spots and maybe there's some story there to where, like, wow, this happened and I got to keep doing this and I don't know how?
I've got a lot of those stories along the way, yeah. The one that comes to mind, and I'm not real proud of this, but it is absolutely true. It's probably 12, 15 years ago. I had quit my job at Huntsville Engine. I was trying to kind of do my own thing for a couple of years and struggling. And I remember vividly rolling quarters so that I could have enough diesel money to fill my motorhome up to get to a B&M race in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, knowing full and well that when I got there, I was going to write a check that would bounce from here back home, right? I mean, I just didn't. And AJ was running the B&M series at the time, and I walked up to the tower after I got there. I said, hey, listen, if I don't win anything this weekend, I will make that check that I just wrote good, but you're going to have to give me a few days because it ain't good right now. And he kind of laughed, patted me on the back. That one ended well. I won a 10-grander that weekend. It didn't always go that smooth. Sometimes that can go, but no, there was a lot of times like that years ago for sure. And all I cared about was making it to the next race. Yeah.
Completely understand. I mean, we've had those things, and that win light come on in the final and you're like, I can make it home now.
Exactly. And some people call that confidence. I looking back, I call it kind of stupid, but I definitely did it.
I agree with that. I've had those moments, and it's like, somehow, some way we'll figure it out. And, it's part of what we do. But for you, I love hearing stories of you talking about your dad and Indy. What for you has probably been like, this is the ultimate? Was it when you won the million? I mean, I don't even want to start going through the list because it's so long, but for you, what is like the one? Like, man, this is the one that grabs at my heartstrings the most.
Yeah, those two come to mind, both Indy and the Vegas Million, just because they're such, Mount Rushmore, crowning jewel accomplishments. Those were super special, and there's a lot of stuff that still makes me think of my dad. Like that license plate that's on the back of my Vega was my dad's personalized plate in California. Everybody asks me what it means. It says Z Big. It was like an inside joke, and I was too young to be on the inside of it, so I don't really know. I just know it was my dad's. And
you may not want to know what it means.
You may be absolutely right. So, but no, Indy, like you said, you've heard me tell the story. Like that place just meant so much to my dad. When the way that the year that I won there, the way the final played out, my opponent actually broke. So I knew by the 8th mile that I'd won, and I was teared up by the time I hit the finish line, just knowing what that place meant to my dad. But I'll circle back on all that, like the crowning achievement, or the race win, or maybe it wasn't even a win in this case, but the one that I'll never forget. My wife and I ran in the final at I-57. We weren't even married at the time. It's probably been a decade ago, but she beat me in the final. We were Vega on Vega, my Vega, and she was driving her grandpa's Vega. And that one, like, you talk about all the pressure rounds, whether it's those late rounds, and you've been there yourself. I don't know that I've ever felt pressure quite like. I rolled in the water box for the semis. I watched her win in front of me, and I was like, oh, yeah. And instantly, her dad and her sister just turned around from the starting line and just stared at me like, it's on you. And I'm like, oh, damn. That's probably the most pressure I've ever felt in a race car. And that just, for $1,000 to win on Saturday night at I-57. But that win light came on, and that one was pretty neat. One I'll never forget.
So just tell the truth. Nobody's listening. Nobody's watching on Motor Mania TV. Did you give the win to her?
No. We would not still be together if I gave the win to her. Like that. That's not the way that my wife operates. It's funny. We circle back to, was it last year? I got to chase some Super Comp points. And at Gateway, the divisional race, I had to win the race. Not to win the world, but to really still have a chance. Like if I'd have won the race, we'd have gone to Vegas. And we were paired up on the ladder. It would have been 4th round. We'd have met up. And I lost 3rd round. And I give her a hard time. She ended up winning the race. And I'm like, well, that was your big break. You know what I mean? Because me losing 3rd round, we didn't have to race 4th round. But everybody just assumed, like, if we'd have met up 4th round, she was just going to, like, stay at the trailer or lay down. Anybody that assumed that does not know my wife. That's not the way that would have gone down. She would have loved to slay me with the world championship on the line. So.
I got to be real honest. My wife is obviously, we've been married. We started dating when I was a freshman in high school, and I am very thankful that she doesn't race.
Be the same scenario, right? Just
Yes.
cutthroat. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm going to turn this back over to the boss. He's been my boss all weekend, but I got to tell you, I really enjoy all the work you do. My last question for you, though, is I mentioned you do a column, you do a podcast, and you do a lot of reading. And a lot of your recommendations I read. And when is Luke going to write a book?
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. I've been trying to journal a little bit more lately. Maybe eventually that all got put together, but I don't even know what the subject matter would be. So I gotta get a little bit better educated, I think, before I take that on.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple to me. I mean, it's Cool Hand Luke's Dictionary to Winning.
Winning, win, losing with Luke Bogacki. There you go.
Or losing and winning.
Yeah, one way or the other, yeah. So we're here, and I kind of talked about it yesterday, and I'm sure you heard me. You often reference the Folk Million on Saturday and Indy on Monday. This place had a vibe yesterday morning. I mean, it was, by the time they said no door cars after 9 o'clock, it was like, okay, it's actually on now. And you could just feel it. And I don't know, I've never been to Indy on Monday to compete, and I've never really, I guess I have been at the Folk Million to compete, but where did that rank as the Great American Guaranteed Million right here started to kick off yesterday?
Yeah, hard to say yet. There was definitely an electricity in the air. I anticipate, just because I was telling somebody the other day, somebody was like, well, I've never been at a race like this. I'm like, I've never been at a race like this either. You know what I mean? I've been at one race that paid half what we're going to race for tomorrow or whenever we get to do this. And I just cannot imagine the electricity in the air. Not only, like you said, you could feel it a little bit yesterday morning, but really every round along the way, because, first round's always got that little bit of antsy, but you get into like 4th or 5th round, you know that the split's coming. And then when the split comes, like literally every round could be worth $100,000 or, something close to it. Like, the atmosphere is going to be unbelievable, and I hope that I can feel it as a part of it. But nonetheless, like just being here as a fly on the wall, it's going to be awesome.
It'll kind of ramp it up too, I believe, because we're just going to pick up where we left off. So nobody's been down the racetrack in 36, 48 hours. We're not getting a time run. Okay. We've been here since Tuesday. That's just what I assume is going to happen. I don't know. I don't make these. He says I'm the boss. I am not. Everybody's like, what are they going to do with the weather this weekend? Whatever they can. You know, I don't know. But that's going to separate the anxiety from the people that can really pull it down and focus it and bring it together.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they end up doing with the structure is obviously that's up to Britt and GAYLON, and I trust that they'll make the best decision possible. But yeah, if it goes that way, if we're just going to roll in blind tomorrow, like I feel like that brings another element into it that if you're going to win a race like this, like I feel like you kind of have to be adept at all things, and that's a look that I guess is more common now at these big bracket races. Like we have a lot of blind rounds, but that's more something that you see in like the NHRA ranks, and just the ability to go into that round essentially. I mean, granted, like you said, we've been here for 5 days, but the hurricane just blew through. Like you're going to essentially stage for that round. Nobody's going to be super confident what they're going. And then you transition from that to fourth, fifth round where it just becomes my sub-10 package against your sub-10 package, and the aggressiveness needed for that. It would be pretty cool if that's the way that it played out, because I really feel like you've got to be adept in all areas to get through.
So I want an over-under. I know you're an odds guy. Round one, are we going to see more red lights or breakouts with this 36-hour, 48-hour stretch?
Ooh, I think I would do it breakouts. I feel like this crowd's a little bit different because we all know what it takes, but I feel like by and large, when you have a long break and a blind round, the go-to for everyone is to err to the side of conservative. And you're like, well, I can't win this round red, and you stack a little bit in, or maybe it's just a mental mindset. Like, I just don't think you'll see a ton of red lights. I think you'd see more breakouts.
It is a pretty salty buyback, but for $1 million, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, I told you the other day in the staging lanes, you're not allowed to park your Vega by our Vegas. Anybody else's Vegas, maybe Cisco's, is about the only one you can park it close to, and he had to park that thing this weekend. I know for you it meant a lot to redo that car because it's been through everything that you've been through in the last 15, 20 years. I don't know how long you've actually owned it, but man, that is something to be proud of. Do you ever want to just leave it at home and not touch it? Because I would have that thing messed up so fast before I ever got to the racetrack.
No, it's slick, and it's at times you look at it and think, man, I shouldn't even be racing this thing. But that's what we did it for, was to race it and enjoy it. And no, that car, I ended up, I mean, I've told the story a million times, but I traded Blake Allen out of that car in 2004. And it had been a race car for 30 years at that point. It was a Don Hardy car built in '74. Never ran pro stock. It was built for modified. But Blake kind of gave me like the history on it when I got the car. And that car has won national events in NHRA, IHRA, AHRA, in 1090, 990 modified. Some crazy bastard won an 890 race in it. Like I don't want to go that fast in it now, much less 20 years ago. So it's been through it, and we had a lot of success together. For the 10 years or so, and it was pretty rough when I got it. I'll be completely honest. It was way rougher 10 years later because I mean it was rode hard, put up wet. It deserved the makeover that it's got. So and it's one of those things like I'll have that car till I'm dead. So yeah, it'll be in the family as long as I'm in the family. And so I thought, what the heck, we'll make it into something I can be proud of again.
Well, I mean, good grief, you used it to hold your dragster up.
It absolutely doubled as the center support in the trailer. And I always tied it down. It probably wasn't necessary because it wasn't going forward. It was holding the dragster. It wasn't going backward unless the back door fell down. But I did always put a strap on it.
Which is bound to happen at some point because if you listen to the Steve Foley podcast, your stacker can fall off the back of the toter home. You wouldn't even know it was there sometimes. But, Luke, it's awesome to have you out here. I know that you're normally not a big fan of being at the racetrack for 6 days, but I think for $1 million, you'll be okay this time.
Oh, there's no place I'd rather be. I like being at the track, especially when the family's here. When it rains for 24 hours straight, that's a little taxing. Everybody's just hemmed up in the motorhome, but it's still a good time. And I know I feel a little bit bad because I feel like Britt and GAYLON put so much into the production of this, and some of that's going to be hampered, just by the weather and pushing it back and things like that. But still, the atmosphere and everything that they're doing, like it's going to be really special when we get to run this.
I'm trying to think of a nickname for Jessica, and I'm not sure if you heard. I tried Cruel Hand. but it didn't really work, you know, because I don't want anybody to think she's a big meanie, but on the racetrack, she's pretty cruel. But cool hand, Luke Bogacki, thank you for hanging out with us for the rest of the week, whatever we got going on here. We are not leaving till we pay $1 million, and I've got a Calcutta that people are begging to pick you over. So I know that you're been there, you've done that, but this is a whole nother ball game and a whole nother day. So good luck to you the rest of the weekend, and more luck to Jessica.
I'm going to do wheelies.
We're gonna do wheelies, and the millions to be determined.
That's it. That's the only thing I can promise. I'll do good wheelies.
Thanks, Luke. Good luck this weekend, and get Gary a junior, would you?
Oh, don't run off. All right, it looks like, don't go nowhere. Come on back over here. Look like the racing's done and the drinking's begun.
That's correct, yeah. That's where we are right now.
So was it a quick day or what?
No, it was a good day. It was a good day. It was a good day. We had to rebuy once or twice. And then we hit 2 reds, but it's okay. You know, as long as everybody's having a good time.
What about you, man?
I'm just a money guy here. He's the driver.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
the driver right here. That's him.
You know what a top fuel guy, when he hears money guy, you know what that means? Can I have your phone number?
You're already famous. It's okay.
I don't have that much money. That's why we're here.
So everybody enjoyed herself at the Million, though.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
It's an incredible event. GAYLON and Britt, Cummins boys, they just put on a good show. It's tough competition out here, though, for real. It's everybody who's anybody's here, and you got to be on your game. It's
So I've asked everybody this, and just got to know, and y'all just kind of, I'm going to go right around the room. If you made the final and you leave here with $1 million, what are you going to do?
I'm not going to be in the work next week.
That's my boss right here. He can have off. It's fine. It's fine. You know, I'm here for him.
I'm not going to work. I promise.
I'm going to buy more dragsters.
Yeah, there you go.
First real honest answer we've had. Somebody said they're going to buy a stacker, and I buy that. You know, I buy that.
Hit on down to Tunica. There you go. And just lay it out. You know, parlay it. You know, what does it matter? You know, hell, we're already broke.
Guys, we're glad you're here. Hope everybody's having fun. This is a cool deal, and we couldn't decide when we were riding over here. Y'all know I'm from here, but it's like, man, these guys over here, we thought y'all might be having a private plane coming in and out over here by this airport.
No. We took that.
Yours laying. Yeah. That way we can flag you down, but you're right here. You know?
Thank you guys for coming out. Thank y'all.
So I'm standing back here with Gary Bogacki. Gary, can you tell me who you think is going to win the guaranteed $1 million race this weekend?
I think that Cassie Pennington will win first place in a $1 million race. Good luck, racer fans.
You heard it first that Gary Bogacki is picking Cassie Pennington for $1 million this weekend. And Gary, I would probably get to your bicycle, son. It's time to head to the motorhome. You see that tree over there, Gary?
Actually, I think Luke Bogacki.
Yeah, he thought about it for a minute. He looked at that real nice bicycle he's got down there, didn't want to lose it when Luke didn't even have to tell him. So we are going to hang out for a minute, take a break up here in the tower as Motor Mania TV is streaming the Pro 1 pit parties. I want to say PRIs, that's fresh on top of my head, a conversation we just had in the other room. But the Pro 1 pit report is going on in the suite number. We don't have numbers on the doors. We're just going to say suite number 1 because we're in there, right, Gary? So I said we were taking a break, Clay, and we're going to do just that. As our day is going to wind down in the tower in suite number 1, because we're in here, it has been awesome to not just hear stories, but the people are what makes this event what it is. You know, it could be 450 Joe Schmoes, but every Joe Schmo's got a story, and then it turns out that we're all friends. We all like the same things. We're here racing for $1 million this weekend at the Scoggin-Dickey Performance Center Race Shop. Guaranteed $1 million race, brought to you by Chevrolet Performance. You know, I did that. You like that? So the Pro 1 Pit Report was awesome today. Thank you to Jeff and Charlotte Heffler for the Pro 1 Pit Report. He's got as many NHRA championships as you've got IHRA. It's on the sportsman side. It doesn't count. It does count. Jeff Heffler's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But we're going to wind things down here. And for me, it was an awesome day to get to know people better. I feel like I know a lot of the racers here, but as you go and you're like, well, I didn't realize that Alan Wickle was actually my dad. You know, it was one of those things. But we are going to have another Alliance RACEWEAR golf cart race this evening. It's going to be a little bit later. We're going to let the wind take care of some of the puddles out on the racetrack. We're going to deal with that. But I don't know what you got to say to close this thing out, but it's been awesome to not only work with you because we're real microphone shy people. We don't like this stuff ever. Donna Milligan even said we're doing a great job, and that is creme de la yeah.
Proud of that. I told you I was proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark for thinking on his feet. You know, this is kind of an impromptu setup thing, and Joanne, and I know Nick's for taking the day off, I think, because, well, it's going to be tiring the next couple of days. But thanks for helping me out up here. I couldn't do without you because I'm ready to go take a nap. Actually, that's why I just bargained with Britt. I said, man, I was up playing poker until 5 o'clock this morning. Can I take a nap before we start this golf cart race? He said, close her up.
Well, I tell you what, I've really had a lot of fun, and you mentioned it in one of the interviews, you know, that I said I may not know these people, but to really just put that out there, I 100% keep up with what's going on, but I don't get to go to these big money races. I know the local racers because I come here as much as I can, but you know, it's so many names now that are hitters. I have had a blast. Now, granted, you know, a few of them that come in here I've known a long, long time. You know, Iron Mike, you know, but like TJ, you know, I know drag race coverage, but I don't know TJ, you know, and the opportunity to meet, you know, certainly new, you know, the golf cart champs from last night. I've heard those names, but it's nice to get the opportunity to learn more about the people and not just, you know, hop on the internet and find out who won the big money race, you know, and it's been fun being here, being able to watch that and watch, you know, nasty Nick Hastings in the Chevette freaking popping wheelies. And
T1000.
Oh, Pontiac, I'm sorry. I'm thinking year of the Chevette.
You just had all of Motor Mania ready to just rip up their stomp on that loud pedal shirt.
Yep, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Luke in the year of the Chevette, but it's a Pontiac. And, you know, I literally had my phone going. I got a video. He was the first pair staged up for the Guaranteed Million. I videoed it. I videoed Britt. I'm like, it's happening, dude. This is for real. The race has started, and I'm super excited for, you know, the track to get dry and for it to continue. And I have had a blast. I feel very blessed to be a part of this, and you've made it really, really easy for me because, again, a lot of these names, probably basically all of them, I know, but I didn't necessarily know the people. And you and I both, I think, have learned a lot about these people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, the only way I could even I was thinking about this morning, like long broadcasts and trying to get things through. It's like the 24 Hours Le Mans meets ESPN the Ocho right here. Because, you know, we're the Ocho, and the 24 Hours Le Mans is just like, yeah, they're still racing. We're still waiting to finish our guaranteed $1 million race. But we are going to shoot for a early start time. We just looked at the weather. It's going to back up even earlier into the night when it's supposed to stop doing all this nasty stuff. And I know the track crew right here at Memphis International Raceway is going to get on it as soon as we can and get on the racetrack as early as we can. And, man, it's been awesome working with you. He's Clay Milligan. I'm Jake Hodge, and we are at the Scoggin-Dickey Performance Center Race Shop. Guaranteed $1 million drag race presented by Chevrolet Performance. I got to mess up one in there all the time, and I just did that.
Press, you got it?
I got Scoggin-Dickey down. That's all that matters, right?
Well, you learned how to say that correctly.
I did, thanks to Alan.
Thanks to Alan. That's another guy we got to learn about.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to wrap this thing up on MotorManiaTV.com. Thank you, Joanne. I know we threw a lot at you. Thank you, Mark, for being flexible. Guys, it's not possible without those two. You know, it's free to the viewer. Thank you to jegs.com and FTI Performance and LARIS Motorsports Insurance for everything they do to bring this free broadcast of $1 million drag race to your television, your cell phone, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to watch it from, at work. We won't tell your bosses even. But we're going to sign off for the night. I've got to do some work, and then I'm sure Easton's going to be ready to run a golf cart race again tonight, and he will be wearing a helmet, just in case. We will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I know Motor Mania will probably be live around 9-ish if it's the schedule that we're trying to be on track at 10. So kick back, relax, and you can even rewind and watch the action this week on Motor Mania TV's YouTube page.
What we have done is very much like the movie Pulp Fiction. You can watch it over and over and over, and you'll learn something new.
You're supposed to, I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I guess I need to watch it. I don't watch TV really, but I do watch MotorManiaTV.com, and that's really what's important in my household. So have a good evening, be safe, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning for our $1 million main event continuation.
that's a wrap. And it's a lot more fun. That was a lot more fun than sitting around in the rain, in the driplets, just watching it dribble all over Memphis. But anyway, yeah. So thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you learned something, meeting new people and so on. And we're gonna say our goodbyes. Go ahead and say your goodbyes to each other. And I'm gonna play my outgoing videos that I normally do. And we will see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet, but we'll be sure and post it, okay? Thank you. Love you. Bye.